right after that.
Yep.
What's up? What's up? Something gets new to what's up? What's up? Think it's new to Sports Head Radio. I'm your gracious host, Emmanuel. Now today we got our panel for today for 2025-2026 NFL playoff preview, folks. And I got my man Chris Ransom from Draft Utopia. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. And we got a new person on our panel for today. Sauce, my man from the Bay Area. Thank you, Sauce, for coming in, bro. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, let's go into the breaking news with John Harbaugh being fired from the Baltimore Ravens. For those that is actually my team. My thoughts on it. I feel like it had to be done because he's lost confidence, mainly with this Ravens team over the past couple of years. Uh, my personal opinion, because remember when they were in that year when they headed to the AFC title game, Harbaugh was going for it on fourth down with no hesitation with Lamar because he trusted him so much. Now it's they kind of pulled the curtain back from he's kind of pulled the curtain back from it, and last year people felt like he should have been fired, but the reason, in my personal belief, the reason why he didn't get fired is because the Ravens made a strong push in the second half of the season. The defense did improve, right? Heading into the playoffs last year, it's just what happened. The Ravens shot themselves in the foot of, obviously Mark Andrews, the fumble, the drop, in the quarter end zone to win the game. In result of that, so basically that was like another year, I believe, to Costa. I was like, you know what? You have another year to get this kind of together. And then, unfortunately, he's fired and everything. But I want to know you guys' thoughts, and I'll go into more into the perfect fits in terms of coaching with the team. Sauce, I'm gonna let you go up, man. What's up, Moody?
What up, man?
What's up? Hey, we're talking about the. I don't know if you heard about John Harbaugh. He got fired today for the Ravens head coach.
Yes.
We're just talking.
Yes.
We're just started going over that. But Sauce, I'm gonna let you. I want your input since you're the new guy. So, what are your thoughts on Harbaugh being fired from Baltimore?
I can't hear my guy.
No, I don't think Moody can. You know why? Because you're on the. Yeah, because I have him on the second mic. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can hear him. Chris, you can.
No, I don't.
I can barely hear him now. I could hear him earlier, though.
Okay.
I can hear Chris perfect.
Okay. Hold on. Go ahead, Sauce. Can you guys hear him?
No.
Oh my gosh. No. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna copy the link. Yeah. I'm gonna copy. Let me see if I copy the link. Hold on. Yeah. Hey, Chris, can you send it to me through text? The link.
I will try to send you the link. Let me get your. Let me go back to the last time I texted you, and then I'll send you the link.
Okay. Because I'm gonna forward it to Sauce, so he can hop on the restream.
EYOYLYAR. There, that should be there. That should be the link. All right.
Okay.
Do that.
All right. All right, Sauce, I just send it to you. All right. I'll probably would hang up and then hop on the restream. All right. So sorry for the folks that are watching currently on YouTube. Um, we had some technical difficulties, but we're
Yeah,
gonna
but
get
we
into
do
it.
have this cool Sports Head radio logo that you can see up in the upper right corner. Where,
Yeah,
like,
that was my
That is
that was
tight.
my original logo before I rebranded it to the purple and gold due to obviously I did it for the for the Kobe passing.
yeah, if you send me that, I could put that up there too. But like, I
Yeah,
figured if we're gonna do these live streams through Sports Head Radio, we got to make it look as unique and authentic as possible.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I that was my original logo, so I was like, dang, I don't know how you pulled that off the archives. You pulled that one up, but I think I have it on my Instagram page, like I don't know, my
Yo,
first
yo,
post.
Yeah.
All
Sauce
right, we
in
hear him
here.
now.
Oh, Sauce, you hear me?
yo, what's good? What's good?
What's going on?
Still
Okay,
not much, nothing much.
okay. Sauce, go ahead and tell you your thoughts in regards with the John Harbaugh firing.
Oh yeah, man. I thought that was long overdue. I think that with Lamar, definitely saved John Harbaugh's career after the Joe Flacco situation and all the old team or whatever. I just feel like Lamar gave him new life, and it's I've always said that Lamar had the talent to take a team to the playoffs, but that's as about far as he could go. And John Harbaugh just to me wasn't moving the needle in bettering the team as great as that team was in 2023, they should have won it that year. I just think that it came down to game planning where trying to turn Lamar into a pocket passer during the AFC Championship and running the ball 6 times in totality after being the number one rush offense that year with Lamar's legs. And that was without Derrick Henry. But I just think that it was just a long time coming, and glad that that's finally over. I don't know, I don't know. We gotta see. I don't know if it gets better. I hope it gets better for the Ravens because I feel like the Ravens are an organization that deserves to be up there with the upper echelon in the NFL. But I hope that they get back to Raven football.
Yeah,
That's just my take.
yeah, absolutely. Sean, what's your take on Harbaugh being fired for Baltimore?
They was long overdue. Sometimes the voice in the locker room just gets stale, and you need a new presence in there. I think he got him as far as they can go. Um, like man said, the team wasn't getting any better under him. On top of that, he probably has something to do with personnel. The personnel on the defense wasn't up to par. The defense was last time the defense resembled something was about to go, and I believe now he's the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, the number one seed in the NFC conference. So, um, you know, it was definitely time. And like my man said, you didn't utilize Henry. You try to make Lamar Jackson to a pocket passer, especially in that AFC Championship, the Chiefs. I think that was their time to go ahead and at least reach the Super Bowl. But it was for naught. A lot of mistakes, fumbles here. Last year, you had Mark Andrews dropping the pass in the divisional game. So it was a lot. It seems like the team just need a new voice, a new direction, and there are some coaches out now that could be a viable candidate for that job. But overall, they need personnel. They need new personnel on the defense. They need to get back to Raven football on the defensive side of the football. They need pass rushers. They need better corners. And I think Lamar Jackson can be just fine. And they need to start looking for a new running back as well.
Man, that's fair. In regards with that, but I do believe Zach Orr will really put those certain players out of in bad positions. out of position in bad positions in regards with Zach Orr. So I feel like both coordinators should be fired as well
Mm,
in regards with that. But Chris, I want your take
I
in regard.
think part of it was Harbaugh's stubbornness and inability to fire either coordinator because there were
mm.
reports that he wouldn't fire Monken. There was also some conflicting reports that he wouldn't fire Orr. I'm guessing he wouldn't fire either coordinator. I don't know if there would. I think the reports about there being friction between Harbaugh and Lamar are BS, but there were some reports on that as well. But either way, I think the Ravens, they made the decision to move on from Harbaugh. I don't know if they can upgrade over Harbaugh, but at the same time, it felt like it was time for a new voice in the room.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's definitely fair. Now, my personal opinion in terms of best fits, I think I kind of went over it with you guys in the chat. I like Brian Flores as a head coach or a DC. The reason why I'm saying it because the Ravens defense has lacked discipline throughout this whole season. Now with Brian Flores, if you look at his track record, every year he makes a huge leap in regards to the defensive aspect of the football. Not only that, he's a disciplinarian. Ravens lack discipline on defense. He will turn that defense around within a short time frame, especially with Lamar having 2 years on his contract. Lamar's going to take over 24% of the Ravens cap next year. So it's going to put more pressure on the Ravens, you know what I'm saying, in Lamar to succeed. Why not go all in on the right coaches and the right coordinators? Because the Super Bowl window, in my opinion, honestly, is going to get shorter and shorter because the higher the cap hit Lamar is going to take, the more difficult for the Ravens it's going to be for the Ravens in order to get certain draft. It's going to put more pressure on them to get those draft picks, right, Chris?
Yeah.
And certain free agent signings and development. So it's best to why not go all out for the coordinators, right? And the coaches are able to develop talent so it could retain that window in terms of reaching the Super Bowl and possibly winning it. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is the perfect time. Look, I'm going after Dayball as an OC. I'm going after like I said, Flores as at least as a DC or a head coach. I think those are the two.
How would you like Stefanski as the head coach for Flores of the DC?
No, but speaking of Stefanski, I believe he's being interviewed for the Giants job.
Yeah.
Right, Chris?
He
I
is
see
on a
that.
plane to New York. He's interviewing with the Giants organization. That is correct.
Yeah, so he's interviewing with the Giants pretty soon, and so yeah, that's regards with it. But who do you guys think is the perfect fit coaching wise for Baltimore? Sauce.
Mm,
I think I love the sound of Brian Flores because I think that
hmm.
Brian Flores knows what a defense should look like. You know what I'm saying? Because I think his situation with Miami was kind of like a kind of like I don't know, a backdoor situation, if you know what that means. But he's definitely turned it around over there with the Vikings. The Vikings have definitely look different on defense. Since he's been there. So I think I like him with Lamar, man. I think that Brian Flores demands a lot of respect without, that goes without saying. So he just, and you just spoke about discipline. I think he has that as a coordinator, whether he's a coordinator or a head coach. But yeah, I think I like the Brian Flores situation if he, decides to sign. I think you guys go back to playing Raven football.
I agree. What are your thoughts, Sean?
I agree. I agree with Sauce. I like Blind. I think he deserves another shot as a head coach. I don't want to. I don't want to see him as a coordinator no more. I think he's proven himself as a coordinator. I think he's proven himself to have an elite defensive mind, one of the elite defensive mind games. So I believe that he should be a head coach of the Ravens. I definitely think he should get a look and get an opportunity. Like you said, the Ravens defense
Discipline, yeah.
it lacks discipline. Um, and then do you guys remember how the Miami Dolphins defense was looking around that
Facts.
time when was at the helm and they had and Flores had them boys playing hard. They almost lumped themselves into a playoff spot
Right.
because of that. Like people don't remember that when Blake's gone. That's the last time Miami defense look like something.
Right.
So, I believe he deserves another head coaching opportunity.
Yeah, and not only that, he didn't when he was in Miami. He didn't want to at the time.
No, he
He
wanted
wanted
Herbert, and that's what got him
right,
fired.
and so it was a clash between the front office and him, and that's exactly what happened.
I
But
think
if
they, I
And look what happened between
yeah.
Herbert is going into the playoffs, and look where two is going.
No, but I think that was more so on the front office. That's why I say like when you're a head coach, it's important to have a great relationship or a decent relationship with the front office because if you don't, it's gonna be rocky for a head coach.
agree, no, I agree with you 100%.
So
Sauce.
it just they were just trying to they were wanting to do things that Brian Flores did not agree with. Obviously, one
Yeah,
was Tua, and the head coach. I understand that you have a job to do, but you still have to respect the call from the front office because they ultimately make the decisions. And whether you're the head coach or not, still you have to respect it. Hate it or love it, but you got to respect it.
Yeah,
and look what that's got the Dolphins too.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right, right.
And obviously when Flores was in Miami, there was players complaining about him being too much of a disciplinarian. And I remember I read those reports at that time. So when I seen that, I'm like, they're more than likely they're going to fire him, unfortunately. But Chris, who do you believe is the perfect fits coaching wise for Baltimore, head coaching
I
coordinators?
believe it's going to end up being Clint Kubiak. I believe
Mm.
Kubiak's going to, because right now I think the top two coaches in this cycle are Harbaugh and Kubiak. And Kubiak is going to want this job. This is the one job he's going to prioritize over the other jobs. The question is, are the Ravens going to prioritize Kubiak over the other coaches in the process? And as for Brian Flores, he is currently the front runner to get the Las Vegas Raiders head coaching job.
I like that too.
That
I
is
like I
true.
like that. I like that too.
I like, yeah, I like
That is
that.
true because there's a rumor I read about a few hours ago in regards that Tom Brady wants Dayball and Flores to be on the
Mm.
coaching staff because remember they were on the coaching staff when he was in New England when they won the last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So so so
Correct,
so
correct.
so I know that we have to keep that in context in regards with that. So it would have shocked me if he was one of the coaches for the Raiders too. But obviously, I would love Dayball. I mean
Yeah.
Dayball as well and Flores to be one
Yeah.
of the coaches for the Baltimore Ravens because Dayball has a good track record in developing quarterbacks
Facts, yeah.
from Jalen Hurts to Tua. Sauce, and you know that because he developed Hurts and Tua in college at Alabama when
No,
they're
yeah,
both
for sure.
Mm.
when they're both quarterbacks. He he he
Yeah.
made he challenged Josh Allen to get to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
In terms
Yeah.
of that, and
Yes.
remember when Dayball left as an OC in Buffalo. Remember
Struggle.
Josh Allen was struggling.
Struggle.
It took them a minute until they found the right coordinator and the coaches for Josh Allen to win that MVP last year. People people
Yeah.
people
Hmm.
people need to people are forgetting that.
I just
So
think that with Josh Allen, man, like, and you spoke about the window for the Ravens. I think as long as you got a healthy Lamar, your window's always going to be open, and just that defense getting back to playing what we known them to be, and I just think that some of this talent, even with like Josh Allen, man, like you just have to have somebody that he respects
yeah,
enough to learn under. You know what I mean? Because that talent that they have is like they're one of the ones that's definitely like contributed all of like a major amount of percentage of their offense, and it's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy to see.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that goes for Baltimore and and obviously that's the one of the breaking news. Another one was what was it Gannon, Jonathan Gannon, the
Yeah,
Yeah, from AZ. From
yeah
AZ.
from the Cardinals. He's fired. I think he could be another candidate in terms of having a job for Baltimore or other teams as well. So he's a good defensive coach as well. So Chris, what are your thoughts on Gannon being fired from Arizona?
I didn't think Gannon was a great coach. I mean, I said on Saturday's podcast on Draft Utopia that Jonathan Gannon, he's got his personality is he's got like he's a bland motivator and he's a lackluster play caller, and those are two things you cannot have in a head coach. Could he thrive in a DC? Maybe get another chance down the road? Yes, but I just this was a blown opportunity by Jonathan Gannon, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. What are your thoughts on the Arizona firing with Gannon, Sean?
Um, he didn't move me. There was nothing special about him. He didn't move the needle. It was a very lackluster turn for him. Like Chris said, it was a major opportunity blown. You have one of the one of the better and best young tight ends coming up in Trey McBride. And Zach
Facts.
Ertz, you know what I'm saying? And I believe is Zach Ertz still on that team or is he on Washington?
Yeah, he's in Washington.
Oh, my
The
bad. I'm sorry
reason
about
I
that. But no,
brought
you
the
have
reason
yeah.
I called out Gannon on Saturday's podcast was because I heard something else, and the something else I heard was that the Cardinals were going to fire their offensive coordinator Petzing, and they were going to keep Gannon. That turned out to be a lie, but it was circulating on social media leading up to the Week 18 game. So I just thought I'd quickly add that before you guys resumed.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, but major blown opportunity for him. I said he didn't do anything special. The Arizona Cardinals didn't make any strides. They didn't get better. Um, and that was really it, um, really it about that.
But the one thing about Arizona, I don't think people notice the first half of the season. The defense actually played pretty well, and they kept the offense within games. But it's just that they didn't close out the games against certain teams, right? That was the major problem in regards with the Cardinals. But yeah,
Exactly.
I do agree with you guys in terms of a missed opportunity with Gannon. And
Yeah.
we'll definitely see what happens in regards with it. Sauce, what's your opinion on Gannon being fired? I don't know if Sauce is still in here.
Let me check.
Sauce with us.
Yeah, it says Sauce add to stream. I'll click that button.
Okay.
Click button. I don't. I see. Let's see. So the S is for Sports Head. The M is for Sean, and what is the M's for Moody, but that's Sean, and then the S should be for Sauce, but I don't see Sauce in the chat room.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he lost connection or what. But okay, we'll probably have to move on. So and also, another one is with what's his name, Cliff Kingsbury, fired as the OC for Washington. Now,
Really?
now, yeah, I
Wow.
know, but me personally, I have to sound off on this one. On Sean and Chris, I
Can
have
y'all
to.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay.
What's
All right,
You
yeah.
back?
no sauce?
So
No sauce. You want to talk about the Gannon firing
yeah,
real quick?
I think
Go,
I
go
think
ahead.
I think he will be a defensive coordinator somewhere, but I don't think he fits as a head coach because I always go with that saying that some people are just meant to be coordinators and not head coaches.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon, if you guys look at in totality of what their defense was able to do, it was like in a lot of platforms, social media platforms and media platforms, where they were saying that the Arizona at one point were one of the toughest 3-8 teams that teams had to play because they lost a total of 5 games by 13 points total.
facts.
So I think that he does well for a defensive coordinator. He just doesn't have what it needs or the necessity of being a head coach. I don't think he has what that takes. But that's just and it takes a lot, bro. It takes a lot to be. I think people undermine how difficult it is to be a head coach. And
Right.
being so one sided, especially like Jonathan Gannon is. But yeah, I mean that's where you kind of lean on your OC to kind of help you in that area. And I don't think that OC kind of helped them in any way. But
Mm,
that's just my take on that.
Yeah, I think another part of it could be injuries as well. Because, I mean, Will
Yeah,
Johnson, the corner
yeah.
they drafted, got injured in the second game against Carolina. And once he went
Mm,
down, they could never get the defense back to full health. And then
right.
by the time Johnson came back, Kyler Murray got injured. And it
right.
was just their season was a seesaw after that point.
Yeah,
And then eventually the
Right.
team just lost. Gannon lost the locker room.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's unfortunate.
Good.
I agree with you guys' points in regards with the Gannon firing. Now another one. This going to Pete Carroll. I'll talk about
Oh, we didn't touch on the Cliff Kingsbury, right?
yeah. The Cliff Kingsbury first, but we will go to Pete Carroll after. Okay, I have to sound off. I have
Okay.
to sound off on this Cliff Kingsbury firing. To me, he was a scapegoat.
Right.
He was a scapegoat, and I'm gonna tell you because Cliff Kingsbury and what's his the head coach Dan Quinn, they they were getting into it in terms of the philosophy on the offensive side of the
Mm,
ball, and the pro I believe Dan Quinn wanted to run the ball more, and Kingsbury was more like progressive. Okay, let's pass the ball more. Let's get the ball more out. Now, my personal opinion, what really hindered Jaden Daniels is the front office because they were so flabbergasted on trying to get Terry McLaurin a deal in the offseason. Remember, Terry McLaurin
mm,
held out briefly. Let's keep
mm-hmm,
this in perspective. He held out till the Washington Commanders didn't know what to do, and it hurt them down the line in terms of adding free agents. You know what I'm saying? And to improve the roster. The running back room is to me is below average. Why are you
mm-hmm,
keeping Osler Eckler? He basically fumbled the
mm,
ball this is a team that went to the NFC Championship game, and you're telling me you're going to have that same roster heading into this
mm,
upcoming season? No,
mm,
you cannot waste Jaden Daniels' years like this. You can't do that. They have to figure out a way to get better players around Jaden Daniels and Debo Samuel. Look, he's solid, but he's really a gadget player. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And Terry McLaurin, I understand he had some on and off little nagging injuries. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the season, he was on and off, and I get that. But it's time for Washington to pony up and spend some money and start
Mm-hmm.
nailing their draft picks because if this is the case, this is no good. And from what I've heard recently, they said that Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels had a real close relationship, and he's
Right.
frustrated. This is rumors I heard today that he's frustrated that Cliff is out of Washington. This is unacceptable, Washington, with the new ownership that you guys have with John Harris. You know what I'm saying? This is unacceptable. You guys got to get it together and let Jaden cook, man. And Jaden,
Mm,
man, I like him as a player. You know, he's out here from the IE. You know, so
mm-hmm.
I kind of root for him low key. But hey, heal up, man. Fast recovery and everything. So Washington, y'all got to do better. Sauce, what's your opinion and your take on Cliff Kingsbury getting fired as the OC?
I think that this is definitely a move that went against the grain because I think that Cliff Kingsbury was, despite of the talent that Jaden Daniels had, he was a big reason on how he developed within the year that he had taken that team. That um whole, like, I feel like it was like Swiss cheese of a team all the way to the NFC Championship. Man, there was holes everywhere. Then they ran into the Eagles, and the Eagles just were clearly light years ahead of them as far as a complete team. But Cliff Kingsbury was definitely one of those key pieces to why JD developed as fast as he did. Because if you go to the years of when he was a head coach for the Arizona, those were the better years of Kyler Murray, in my opinion, when Cliff Kingsbury was there. So yeah, man, and I just hate it for JD 5 because I feel like it should have been a clean sweep. It should have started with Dan Quinn for leaving JD 5 out there, even though they were blown out and then
Facts.
that was the start of his injury. You know, him injuring himself during that game. That game was already out of hand. I don't know what JD5 would have did with the situation that was in front of him, but now you hate to see it, man. You hate to see players with that much talent, and and this is giving me haunting stories of like the RG3. Like how he wasted his career down there because they wouldn't let him heal properly. They were like trying to make him come out and like faster than when they needed because they were somehow in a win down situation. But yeah, man, I just hope things get better. We always see it, man, and I just think that they should recover fast.
These are
Yeah.
great points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Chris. In regards with the Cliff
Yeah,
Kingsbury
I
hire.
mean, both running backs, Brian Robinson Jr. and Eckler entered the year in contract years. And I think Washington's thought process is, who can we trade and get draft capital for? They traded Brian Robinson Jr. instead of maybe it's Brian Robinson Sr., Brian Robinson Jr., but they traded Robinson in a contract year because he was a late round pick in the final year of his rookie deal. And they traded him and they kept Eckler. And I
Mm.
think they only got like a sixth back for Robinson, and he was a good number 2 to McCaffrey this year. But that thought process backfired immensely because Eckler tore his ACL in like the 4th game of the year, and then
Facts.
you didn't
Mhm.
have and
Facts.
then you basically had to rely on Chris Rodriguez Jr. and who's the other guy, the former Michigan State running back. It
Is it
doesn't matter.
Merritt.
is
His
it
name is
Merritt?
Merritt. Merritt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Merritt.
Jeremy McNichols. Yeah, that's it, McNichols.
Yeah. Or was
Yeah.
it Merritt? It was something Merritt or
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that.
Krosky
Yeah.
Merritt emerged as the season progressed
Right, right.
in the second half. But in the first few games before Krosky Merritt emerged, it was McNichols and
Oh yeah,
Rodriguez. And then Krosky Merritt emerged. But yeah.
Yeah. Fact.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Sean, what are your thoughts on the Cliff Kingsbury firing?
I agree with you. I agree with Sauce. I agree with Chris. Everybody made points. I believe he was a scapegoat. Um, Media and analysts were raving about the relationship between Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels last year, but due to the head coach practicing quarterback malpractice by leaving him out there with an injured elbow, possibly already dislocated, you hinder the process. Then on top of that, you don't get a better team around him. The team is kind of old and outdated. Your number one receiver, I believe, is 30 years old. That's why Washington was so hesitant to give him the contract to begin
Facts.
with. So I believe I agree with Sauce. It should have been clean into the house, starting with Dan Quinn. And I would have elevated Cliff as the head coach, and then I would have went about my business and handled business from there. But it's unfortunate that he lost his job to clash of the minds between head coach and OC.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely agreed. Now let's go into the Pete Carroll situation. Uh. Uh. uh Chris, you go ahead, and what are your thoughts in regards to Pete Carroll getting fired?
Pete Carroll, one and done. I was kind of surprised he got fired, but I mean, didn't he take a year off after he got fired from Seattle? Because I think Mike McDaniel
Yes,
Yeah,
took over.
he was like an advisor to Seattle or something
Yeah,
like that, if I'm
that
not
that
mistaken.
and he was like a part-time professor at USC for some
yeah.
type of
Mm.
some type of business or something like that. But he had some he was professor of some classes over at USC too.
Yep, that makes sense. So he gets fired. Tom Brady clearly wants to bring his guys in to complement Spytech on the coaching team, but I'm not sure who has the most appealing job. Because last year it was pretty obvious New England and Chicago were the two best destinations for coaches. This year it's pretty clear Baltimore is the most appealing job opening by a mile, but who's number 2 behind the
I-
Ravens?
I'll argue the Atlanta Falcons is a very they got some talent on that team, especially side and offensive side of the football. whoever's going to get that team is getting a very talented team.
I think the
Y-
Falcons and Giants are probably 2A, 2B. The question is, which of those situations are you going to prefer?
Exactly. Exactly. And
Okay.
not only that, if you I'm not saying it's I'm a Raven fan. If you look at the Ravens in their whole in the team history, there's only been three head coaches. And it's only
Mm.
been three head coaches. So let's to Chris's point, that Ravens job is going to be attractive it shows a level of stability.
It's definitely the number one job in the
Right.
market
I'm
right
not
now.
saying it because I'm a fan, but based on stability, a lot of
Yes.
coaches are going to want are going to go after that Ravens job. Plus, who's not going to turn down coaching a two-time MVP, Lamar Jackson?
Correct.
Who's not
Correct.
going to turn that down? That's all I can say. But I'm not saying because I'm
Yes.
biased, but I'm just trying to keep this in context. But
It's a team with a team with an elite quarterback, and
it,
that's always attractive.
exactly, exactly. But I do agree. Miami, I mean Atlanta, is an attractive job as well. It's just I feel like Raheem Morris was like to Sauce's point, is more of a coordinator than he is a head coach. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
He's that to and to me, they have to go more of the offensive side. My personal opinion, the defense actually played well. I like James Pierce, the first round pick they had last year, but they trade that first round pick from this year to the Rams, and the Rams had I think the 13th pick in the draft. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, Chris.
Jesus Christ.
In results of it, so we'll see. I know Baltimore's right behind him at 14. Because we're right behind him at 14. Chris, I think you know because you probably the draft order or
Yeah.
already on deck. So, but yeah, I do agree with you, Moody, in returns with you know what I'm saying. Atlanta is up there as well
The
with the Giants.
Giants with Dart, with Scattaboo, with Malik Neighbors all healthy next year, they could do something with the right head coach. But I think the Falcons, you could argue their supporting cast is a little bit more experience, and they
What?
don't have that GM like Joe Schoen, who's gotten so much wrong and so little right, despite the fact that the offense is finally showing promise now with the Giants.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. And no, I'm gonna talk about the Pete Carroll fire before we go to the Raheem Morris. But the reality is this: Pete, when they hired Pete Carroll, he was the best coach available, and he wasn't really the true target. The true target that Tom Brady wanted was Ben Johnson.
Mm.
The Tom Brady was advocating and campaigning for Ben Johnson to be the head coach of the Raiders because Tom Brady was sold on the vision of where Ben Johnson sold him in that interview in terms of how he wanted the offense to be. You know what I'm saying? With the Raiders. Unfortunately, the Bears outbidded him, unfortunately, and the rest is history. In regards
Mm.
and I feel like this year, what I've learned, I know it's kind of off topic, is having an elite play caller matters. And
Yes.
the result of that is Detroit Lions not being in the playoffs in regards with it.
Mm.
You say and that with Dan Campbell, the lack the formations were it was so unorganized with Detroit. It was compared to what Ben Johnson, bro.
I don't think that with Ben Johnson, I don't think it was just he was not just an elite play caller. He just understands. Like you got to remember when Ben Johnson was there when they developed that offensive line, bro. That
Mm.
their offensive line was top three, and when
Mm.
they were like bad, they went from bad to like the best in Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and he's doing the same thing like literally in Chicago,
Facts.
his first go around. He went and
Yep.
got Tooney from KC, and then
Kansas City. Yeah.
all the missing pieces that the offensive line, and now Caleb Williams actually looks like a quarterback that understands what it means to have pocket presence and not play backyard football. And Ben Johnson,
Mm.
on the other hand, Ben Johnson knew that the Bears is where he wanted to be,
Correct.
due
Yeah.
to the fact, obviously, you see, like they went from worst to first this year.
Got a Bears have a quarterback. The
Yeah, the
Raiders have
Bears have a
nothing.
quarterback. Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, so Ben Johnson, man, he like my hat goes off to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did call it in the beginning of the season. I said I could see a world where Ben Johnson goes to Chicago, wins that division, and Detroit is left out of the playoff picture.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
everybody thought I was crazy.
yeah. I remember Sauce earlier in the season. You said it when I was on a live with you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I remember. So you've been real consistent with the Bears. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And I was like, you know what? Yeah. And honestly, I knew Detroit was going to be affected. You know, with Ben Johnson not being in Detroit anymore.
I
But
think part of the
I
problem
didn't. But I
was
didn't. But for me, I didn't expect him to miss the playoffs like that. Go ahead, Chris. My
I think
fault.
part of the problem was they promoted the wrong offensive coordinator. Because I was looking at the Lions coaching room. Johnny Morton's a great receivers coach, but they probably should have promoted Brunell to OC because they have both Marquise Tuiasopo and Bruce Gradkowski in that coaching room as assistants. If they had just promoted Brunell to OC and Gradkowski to quarterbacks coach, I don't think the drop off from Ben Johnson to Morton would have been as massive as it was, but Ben Johnson was just that good and Morton was just that bad. I think if they promoted Brunell instead and then they had made elevated Gradkowski to quarterbacks coach, I think a simple fix like that would get you back in the right direction. I'm not saying it'd replicate what Ben Johnson did, but it would at least get you back in the right direction. So I think promoting the wrong guy internally ended up costing the Lions.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
That that
Mhm.
that's a very good point, Chris. In regards with it, now let's go to the Raheem Morris firing. I kind of already touched on it, in regards with Raheem Morris, but Sauce, what are your thoughts on Raheem Morris being let go of from Atlanta? Mhm.
Man, bro, it's just, as much as the talent that he had available to him, he just totally underachieved. But I could say his talent has come around where they were having holes with the pressure on defense. I think they're like coming into this season, they didn't know who the pass because they got rid of Garrett Jared Grady or whatever his name was, and they were getting rid of a lot of their old pieces, and they didn't know what to expect. But they all panned out, and they were looking like a good defense. But I don't know, like I just feel like I don't know where they went wrong. They definitely have a great pass defense. They have a great front four. um the offense, like my whole thing is like, bro, as you
Mhm.
got a young Bijan Robinson, yeah,
Mm.
you don't know what you're doing. Like, I mean, Atlanta has always had a good top 10 or
Running
outside of
game.
the top 10 barely offensive line. And it's just like
Mhm.
you had Michael Penix, who definitely was struggling with being on target, and then you had a digressed Kirk Cousins, and it's just like, man, you now what do you do? Because now you're in a bind. Because this year, what do? You pay Kirk Cousins, or you go fishing again? Like, you wasted. I feel like ultimately they wasted that draft pick. And, like,
Mm.
they could have sold, and like, you went and got Michael Penix. I just don't understand how, like, you signed Kirk Cousins in the beginning of the season, I mean, before the draft, and then you shocked the world with the Michael Penix, and it's just like, now look, it's like blowing up in your guys' face, like, and your guys are supposed to be the most explosive, one of the most explosive offense. Like, you got Drake London, you got a unorthodox
Mhm.
tight end, and
Mm.
Michael Pitt,
Kyle
I mean Kyle
Pitts.
Pitts,
Yeah, Kyle Pitts.
and
Yep.
like, I just don't, like, what else do you need? Do you need a number two? Like, do you need another tight end to go with Kyle Pitts? Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like to me, on paper, or with the talent that they had, they definitely should have been in the running this by the end of this season for that division, on how weak that division was. But
Mhm.
I think they underachieved, and I think that, like I said, a coach could be a coordinator, but a coordinator cannot be a coach. So yeah, I stand on that.
Agreed.
No, preach on that one, man.
Mm.
And honest, and not only that, Chris. Kyle Pitts, I believe, is a free agent. His contract
Yes,
is going to be
the Falcons are at a crossing
Mm.
roads, Emmanuel. I was just about to say they're at a crossing roads where they're going to have to make some big decisions because Kyle Pitts is a UFA, Drake London's going to be a UFA in 2027, and you got to decide
Mm.
whether or not you want to use a fifth-year tender on Bijan Robinson this offseason. So they're at a crossing roads where they're going to have to start figuring out what playmakers they want to prioritize with this offense because I don't know if they can give everyone in their big three, Pitts, Bijan, London, a second contract without going over the cap with the linemen they're paying.
Well, my educated guess though, Chris, is I personally believe they're going to franchise tag Kyle Pitts.
I
Mhm.
agree with that.
That's my educated guess, but who
But
knows?
that's not gonna help them though. That's
Yeah,
like putting a band-aid on a big wound that you don't have a big enough band-aid to cover. The thing about it is like, I just feel like this is where they went wrong. They brought in when they drafted Kyle Pitts, they did nothing to prioritize him. They did everything to prioritize everybody but him on offense. And I
fact.
was like,
Mhm.
why did you go draft somebody knowing that he was an instant impact? This man could line
Mhm.
up at wide receiver. You could put him anywhere. You don't have to necessarily put him in the tight end. He was just drafted at that position. And I just feel like that would have messed up a lot of formations, bro. Having him
Mm.
line up at like, imagine a world where Kyle Pitts is lined up in the slot. He
My
Mm.
goodness,
started in the tight end spot. You audible out the formation. Now you're forcing someone to guard this big body over like an ex body tight end. And it's like that's a mismatch of like the best mismatch
All
that you
day.
ever wanted. Like,
right?
how could you mess this up? This is the man. I don't know. I feel like this is the order it should go. You should prioritize Bijan Robinson. Well, no,
Yeah.
prioritize Drake London, then Kyle Pitts, and then like the way that the NFL is running towards, they feel like that they could always get the running back. But Bijan Robinson, to me, respectfully, is I feel like the best thing out there when it comes to running back. He's a true
Fact,
running back. Everything you
fact.
want in a
Mm.
running back, that's the guy. But they need to prioritize Kyle Pitts. They can't franchise tag him because then the contract is just going to get worse after the franchise.
Yeah, because of the incentive. That I agree with. I believe we talked about this also in regards
Yeah,
franchise tags because the incentive does go up year after year. It
Mm.
just depends on the percentage, and obviously, like for example, like Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is one of the most highest paid players in NFL history. Why is that?
right,
Because due to the franchise
The
tag.
franchise tags.
And he
Yep.
kept telling Dak because Dak was getting frustrated when he was kept getting franchise tag, and Kirk Cousins basically said, "Nah, make the franchise tag your friend because sooner or later they're going to be forced to pay up."
right.
And Kirk seen this happen because he said he's probably going to be the highest paid player in the league. And sure enough, the
He
days
was. Yeah,
days heading into the beginning of the regular season, what happened? They paid him over $300 million.
right. And that's the thing. Like, man, whoever Kirk Cousins
The
agent
agent
is
is good
needs to
lord.
be in the Hall of Fame
The Hall
because
of Fame
that man has gotten Kirk Cousins three big bags in his career, bro.
on 3 different teams.
On
Right.
three different. Oh my goodness, bro. Goodness gracious, bro.
And ain't and I think Lever's only won one playoff game in his
Yeah,
career.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, you ain't you ain't
Mike
wrong.
Only in
McCartney of
America.
Vayner
Oh,
Sports is Kirk Cousins' agent. Mike McCartney of Vayner Sports.
Oh,
shit.
oh man.
yikes.
That's the guy. That's the man right
Yeah,
there.
I gotta add the sound effects. Cha-ching.
Right.
Uh,
Right. Hey man, hey, whoever that guy is, man. Hey, look, man. Hey, you need to put out a book on how to be how to get the bag for sports athletes.
Right.
Here's a
He'll make
list of
he'll
Mike
make another bag off
McCartney's
that alone.
clients: Aiden Hutchinson, Ellie
Oof.
McNeil, Benjamin St. Juice, Boy Mafe, Bucky Irving still on a rookie deal with Tampa, but he's done well as a fourth round pick. Ike Emekwanu, he's going to get paid this offseason. Joe Thuney,
Yeah.
He is.
Dobbs,
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins. Um, Hey, Trevor Simeon. There's 4 of his clients aren't making any money. 5 actually. He's got a bunch of clients, but he's got a bunch of clients, but 5 of them aren't making anything. They're currently not playing in the league. And you got
Right.
Tyler Newman on a rookie deal and Zach Charbonnet on a rookie deal, but that's it.
Wow.
Zach Charbonnet about to get a big bag. I know that. I know Tyler Newman about to get a bag eventually. Um, yeah, man. Hutchinson, man. I know he about to get
Right.
his
He
bag
already
when it
got his
comes.
bag, $45
He
million
Oh,
did.
extension per
Yeah.
year.
oh yeah. Yeah, so hey, look, I think it's just the
Shout
talent,
out.
man.
Right.
If you got a name that ring bells, them bells gonna turn into ka-ching.
That part. Exactly. Okay. With the next coach firing, Stefanski. Uh, Stefanski. Obviously.
I'll start on this
Go
one.
ahead. Go for it. Sound off.
He was a big hater. He needed to go. He was out there hating on my boy, hating on Shador, having taken him out, robbed him, taking him out of the last play to possibly win the game. I believe on his first and second starts. Like, what are we doing?
It was his
13
it was his second
quarterbacks
start.
under
Yeah.
this man. 13 quarterbacks under this man. None of them have panned out. Baker Mayfield was okay, but they didn't have enough patience for him. I believe it was time for him to go. He was there for 6 seasons, 2-time coach here. Voice needed to resonate with the Browns. You got to get results, man. You can't waste that defense. That's my thing.
That defense is
You
gone.
can't. You've wasted the defense. The defense was still elite this year. Imagine some type of with the way that division was going, the Browns could have competed for that division if they had competent quarterback. Am I lying, Manuel?
No, you're
With
not.
that defense,
Nah.
Yeah.
you've wasted the prime years of Ward. You've wasted the prime years of my man Miles Garrett. I mean, Miles Garrett can still go. He's still in his prime, but he's 30
Hey,
years
shout
old.
out
He's
to
about to be
Miles
on the
Garrett
tail end of his
for
prime.
finally
Right.
yeah, achieving that sack record, man.
Yeah.
The Steelers was hating.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was time for him to go. He's a great coach. Don't get me wrong. He's great. He's definitely going to find work, like you said. Chris is currently going to be interviewing for the head coach for the New York Giants position. But it was definitely for a new voice in the Browns organization.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I agree. You know what? That pretty much does it. I know the Dolphins GM Chris Greer got fired. He was original GM that hired Flores in Miami, um, down there, and yeah, Raheem Morris, Brian Callahan got fired from Tennessee. Oh, speaking of Tennessee, um,
Hmm.
Jason Garrett is getting interviewed for the Tennessee Titans head coaching position. Um,
Wow. They
Why?
they allow him to do that?
yeah,
Why? Why?
me personally,
You might as well interview Chip Kelly.
well, Chip Kelly actually took the Northwestern. Um,
He-
was the OC, I believe, Chris, the OC job.
Yep.
he's where he
Yeah,
belongs. Coordinator in
yeah,
college.
he's a coordinator at Northwestern, I believe, and
Yep.
he took
Um,
Rick Neuheisel, his son, to be the quarterback coach over in Northwestern. So obviously the familiarity from UCLA when Chip was the head coach out at UCLA. So
yeah.
that familiarity. So yeah, we'll see. All right, you guys ready to get into the playoff matchups?
Let's do it.
Let's
Let's
do it.
get it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, let's start with the first one. Let's start with the AFC. Let's start with the AFC, man. Okay, let's go with for me, the most intriguing matchup in the AFC, my opinion, is Bills and Jags.
Ooh.
Hmm.
For
I
me,
agree.
in the AFC wise, Bills and
Yeah.
Jags. It's this Sunday, 10 o'clock Pacific time AM, 1 o'clock Eastern. The Bills are favored by 1 point against the Jaguars. Sauce. Well, what are the keys for both teams in order to win this game, and what X factors do you have in this game?
So my whole thing is for the Bills because I feel like this is the Bills' opportunity to finally get over the hump and win that organization the Super Bowl. But Josh Allen has to, you know, he has to be a both. He has to be a game manager and a game changer at the same time, but he needs to understand when he's to do either or. But this is a Josh Allen that we all understand is one of the best playoff performers that the world has ever seen play football. So do I challenge him to make the right decision? No. I think that he's gonna do what he gotta do to get forward. But the thing is, who's going to show up for him? Like, is it Gabe Davis all of a sudden? Is it Shakur at wide receiver? We already know what James Cook looks like. He's done it, you know, he's done it for this organization since he got there. So I just feel like I just feel like the game of like the time of possession. This is one of those games like how Seattle and Niners turned out to be was whoever won the time of possession, and I feel like the battle of the trenches because this defense that Jacksonville Jaguar has is not something to be played with. But yet again, you cannot sleep on that talent that Josh Allen has, and he is more proven than anything that defense got going on because I think he's played the best of the best in that conference. So I just feel like Jacksonville has to come out, make these defensive stops, and then Trevor has to do what Trevor that we haven't seen Trevor do, play out his mind and actually play the quarterback position that we've wish we seen from him for so long. But since Liam Cohen's got there, I think that this Trevor Lawrence has been playing the last few weeks that he's been playing in this season. Man, he's turning up. So and against the Broncos, I was like shocked. So it's just is Trevor Lawrence. These are the questions. Is Trevor Lawrence gonna be that guy in this year's playoffs? Or is Josh Allen just that good enough where he's just waiting for this opportunity where there's no Lamar, no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes? Like, is this the moment? So I guess we'll find out. But like to me, like I said, they I think Bills defense got healthy. That's going to be a defensive battle on both sides of the Bills in Jacksonville. But it's just for me, time of possession with the ball, whoever wins that battle in the trenches with the offensive line, defensive line, is gonna win this battle. So
No, absolutely, absolutely. Sean, what do you think is the keys to the game for this Bills Jags game, and what X factors do you have? Is Sean on here, or did he lose connection?
Hold on. I've been typing some of the. I'm a little bit behind on some of the recaps, so I've been
Okay.
typing those. But yeah,
Sorry about that, y'all. Phone
Oh,
had
okay,
died.
got you. No, I don't know if you heard my question, but what are the keys to the game in regards to this Bills and Jags game, and what X factors do you have in the game?
Oh, man, the X factor I have in the game is Josh Allen. When before my phone had died, I had Sauce basically say like he has to be both a game manager and a game changer. He basically has to figure out what type of game it is and go from there. If it's not a game that it requires you to throw for all these yards, keep pounding, keep running the football, keep making sure to protect the ball. Don't give Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars an opportunity because they haven't been here before. You have. So I think experience, honestly, is going to be the biggest factor in this playoff game besides Josh Allen.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. Now, for me, I think the keys is going to be Cook and with running the football. Actually, and obviously he was the league rush leader in rushing yards this year. He edged out Jonathan Taylor, so
Mm.
he's the number one leading rusher. So I think they had to figure out a way to try to establish a run against the Jags, but the Jags is no slouch. They got a really good defense this year, and like Saul said, Trevor Lawrence is playing with a great rhythm right now, heading into the playoffs. So the Jags is kind of they're coming in hot, and
yeah,
with Josh Allen there, Obviously, he's going to be an X factor. Now, I do believe the tight ends could play a big factor, which obviously in Shakira as well. So we'll see what happens in regards with it. But yeah, those are basically my keys. Now, Chris, what are your what are your keys to the game?
This is the
And
toughest game to pick, in my opinion, of the AFC games. This is easily the toughest game to pick because I'm looking at the Jaguars. They've got the number one run defense in the league, excellent front seven. The Bills have the number one
Mm.
pass defense in the league. And so what this game for me is going to come down to is Josh Allen and ETN are going to feast in this game, but who's going to make better decisions? James Cook against this run defense or Trevor Lawrence against this secondary? Because initially I was leaning Jacksonville to win, but Buffalo also has the officiating advantage with they are 2-0 in wild card games that Brad Allen calls, and Brad Allen is getting the Bills Jaguars game too. So, and the Bills are also going to have a fully healthy offense. If Dalton Kincaid was a limited practice all last week but didn't play, if Dalton Kincaid comes back, entire Bills offense will be at full health for the first time since the Bills beat the Chiefs in Week 9. So that's another thing we got to look at.
yeah, absolutely. Now,
Jags secondary is also depleted. They don't have the top three guys they had at the beginning of the year. Tyson Campbell, Travis Hunter, Jordan Lewis, all of them are out, and they traded Campbell to Browns. So, I mean, I think the secondary is going to be a weakness for Jacksonville. Yeah, they could win this game, but I think their secondary is ultimately going to be what keeps Jacksonville from making a deep run in the AFC.
something.
Shout out to Travis Hunter, man.
Yeah, and Chris, I like Travis Hunter as a player, but I said it before the draft that I wasn't sold on his durability.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wasn't sold on his durability as a player down the line. And listen,
He needs some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Emmanuel.
yeah. And listen, I'm not. I mean, I hope he heals well and everything, but he has to make a decision in terms of what position that he needs to play.
Yeah.
Because if he continues in this trajectory, and playing both sides, he's at a higher risk of being hurt. I'm not saying he is, but I'm not saying he is. He's going to be at a higher risk because he's playing multiple positions on both sides of the ball.
I agree with that.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear people like, "Oh, you wish." No, I don't. I actually like Travis Hunter as a player, so don't get it twisted. I just not sold on his durability. I like his talent, but that's something he has to figure out down the line.
And I think he's better at
That's
corner
very
than
fair.
receiver, but the Jags primarily want to use him as a receiver versus having him at corner.
I think
Right.
he's better at corner too.
But I think that they could sacrifice that now that they got Jacoby Myers. So I think that
100%. That'll be
I
some
think
shit.
that with the like you mentioned, Chris, I think that if he could come back healthy anywhere in these playoffs, I think I can see a world where they put him at corner to help that secondary.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Okay, so what are you guys' predictions with the game? You're Chris. I know you mentioned about the officiating advantage with Brad Allen being assigned to that game. But we said the Bills are 2-0. Was it the last
2-0. They won 2 wild card games. They beat the Colts and they beat the Dolphins. I think this opponent will test them more than those two opponents. And if Allen has a game where he throws 3 or 4 interceptions like he did against the Dolphins, against this Jags defense, the Jags are going to win, period.
Facts. Yeah, facts. What's crazy? The line's at Buffalo -1, according to the Vegas line. And for some reason, I think this might be the most exciting game in the playoffs for the wild card. So I'm actually going to go with Vegas on this one. I think Bills win by 1 point. I'm going to say 24-23 Bills. What's your prediction, Sauce?
I could see a definite like a 3-point game either way.
Mhm.
Because I just think that, man, I'm telling you, man, this is Josh Allen's time to finally get. You know how they said Steve Young couldn't do it because Montana was the guy, and Steve Young finally did it. I just feel like this is like somewhat in that category, man, where the Bills finally get what they've solely wanted for years. They went 4 times in 4 seasons in a row and didn't get it, and this is their time because there's no Burrow, there's no Jackson, there's no Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes. So, I feel like this is the greatest time for them to finally achieve it.
Yeah,
But 3 points either
absolutely.
way.
Yeah. Either way, okay. Yeah, I got you. Sean, what's your prediction for this Bills and Jacks game?
Woo.
I know this is tough.
This is tough because the Bills are not good on the road. The playoffs. Um, I believe I agree with Thoughts. I think they right the ship. I can see in a tie game. I can see Trevor Lawrence scoring, maybe with about a minute left, maybe about 50 something seconds left. I can see Josh Allen getting the ball down in the field goal range, have setting up the kicker for a walk off, and they win 27.
Oh, see, we're pretty close on the score, Sean. We're pretty close. And then you got Bills too, right,
Yes,
Chris?
for now I've got the Bills, but honestly, the more I think about it, I think Allen's first Super Bowl is going to be next season because you'll have the new stadium, you'll have the kid coming, and you'll have everything. The deal with SoFi, the Bills going into SoFi Stadium. I think Allen's first Super Bowl is next season. But at the same token, it's just so hard for me to pick against Buffalo. I do think the Jags are capable of pulling the upset, but it's so hard for me to pick against the Bills right here. So, and I think this is going to be a defensive game. I'm trying to think of I'm going to go 23-21 Bills. They win on a
Okay.
field goal at the end of the game.
Okay. All right. Now let's go to the Saturday games. Let's start off with the Rams playing in Charlotte against the Carolina Panthers. The Rams are currently favored by 10.5 points.
Gee.
I know that's a pretty big spread for a playoff game. By the way, and Chris, I'm gonna start off with you. What is your assessment in regard to this game for both teams, and what do you think will be the keys in terms of like
I
of
picked the Panthers in the regular season, but I'm going to pick the Rams for the wild card game. I think they're hungrier. They're more pissed. But the thing is, the Panthers won this game without J.C. Horn. The first time they met in the regular season, J.C. Horn was still out with an injury. He will be back at full health this time around. So you'll have J.C. Horn. You'll have Michael Jackson, who had the pick six. And, those two corners, if they play as good as they did, they should be able to win. And Moehrig, I think, was suspended for that game because of his incident with the Niners on Monday Night Football the week before. So I think Lathan Ransom had 12 double-digit tackles too in his first start. Really very strong performance. So I would not be surprised. I think the Panthers cover, but I think the Rams win. And all these Panther haters need to calm down. Bryce Young had his best game of the season against the Rams, 442 yards. Got some people on X calling Bryce Young a Fisher Price toy. That is
Wow.
not okay. Because he smiles like
oh
caterpillars in the Fisher Price toys. It's like,
oh man, I'm sorry, I had to laugh. I
Mhm.
had to laugh on that
Hey
one.
man, yeah, that helmet do be looking kind of big on him, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But okay, so you got the Rams, but yeah, that spread's too big. Now, obviously Devontae Adams, well, I believe was a full go in practice this week. So having him definitely helps the Rams in terms of the red zone efficiency, right? And he still led the league in touchdown receptions, if I'm not mistaken, especially him missing like what a few games. So
yeah.
Yeah,
that just tells you a lot
that's crazy.
how the impact that Devontae Adams has on this Rams team is definitely going to help him in the red zone and everything with this Rams team. I have the Rams winning as well. I don't believe they're going to cover that spread though because I think it's too big. I got the Rams winning 31-24, 7 point game. Rams win, but the Carolina Panthers do cover. And who is the head official for this game though, Chris? By the
I've got
way,
34-27 Rams, and I think it's going to be close, though.
yeah, but I'm trying to figure out who's the head ref of this
Okay.
game. Oh,
Clete Blakeman.
The Click Blakeman. There we go.
Yeah, Blakeman.
Anything
on
on
the Rams game 2 weeks ago against Atlanta where they threw where Stafford threw 3 picks.
Yeah,
And
that's
I think-
interesting. That's
And
interesting.
I think this was outside of the Atlanta game. His worst game of the year was the game against the Panthers.
Yeah, that's interesting how he's calling another Ram game within multiple weeks.
Yeah.
Within that time frame. So I think that's pretty interesting. Sauce, what is your assessment on this game in regards with the Rams?
Man, the Rams better not lose. That's all I know, man. But the Panthers, man, they playing with they playing with house money right now. They
Facts.
playing the worst people to play is people that have nothing to lose. And this is a situation where the Panthers just on a natural high that they even got in over the
They're
Tampa Bay
happy to be there.
Buccaneers, and they got a freaking home game. This
Mm.
remember, like, do y'all remember, like, when the Carolina Panthers were heading home to play the Rams, and I remember nobody had the Panthers. Everybody like overlooked this. Oh, Rams by 7, Rams by 10,
I had
and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, are y'all kidding me? Like, they got a secondary back there. They just got a weird defense. Like, I mean, and then Brian like the quarterback. Like, I've always been high on him, man. Like, I just feel like, giving him the right situation and how he's developed in the game. I think Bryce Young, man, is a force to reckon with. It's just his problem is the same problem that Russell Wilson had, and Russell Wilson made a career out of escaping the pocket and using his legs. Now, if we get a Bryce Young like that in the playoffs, oh my goodness,
Right.
him and
Mm.
him and T Mac. Him and
Mm.
all them receivers that they got over there, and then
Right.
you got Rico Dowdle, then
Rico
you got
Dalvin.
you got Chuba Hubbard with the 1-2.
Mm.
Right.
Man, bro, I'm just
Mm.
saying, man. Look, I'm not sleeping on nobody, man. All I'm saying is they playing with house money, and the worst people you want to play going into the playoffs is people that have nothing to lose.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Right now, Dak Prescott's the highest paid quarterback, $60 million a year. But if Bryce Young
Yep.
takes you to the Super Bowl at 8 and 9, you're gonna have to pay him more than Dak Prescott, even if you
Yeah.
don't want to. You're not gonna have a choice. Your hands are gonna be tied.
That's like
Facts.
70 mil. We're talking about 70 plus mil right there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I can see a world where it's 75.
64
Right.
million. at
You know,
least.
this game has a similar feel to the New Orleans Saints versus the Hawks.
Ugh,
Same game with the Beastquake,
Yeah.
yeah.
where nobody expected the Seahawks to come out when they shock the world, and it starts a whole new regime with the Seahawks. It has an eerie feeling, but I'm not turning my back on LA.
Well,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
got the Rams.
I got the
Yeah.
Rams.
I,
Despite all of that, I do definitely got the Rams. It better be the Rams.
yeah.
It better be the Rams. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I do. I think all of us are in. We all agree that the Rams. It's unanimous that the Rams we got them to win the game on that as
Yes.
well. The next Saturday game, I believe, is Bears and Packers. Not mistaken, Chris.
Mm.
Yes, that's
which is-
correct.
Yeah.
Because NBC was determining. NBC narrowed down the Sunday night game to Jags, Bills, and Patriots, Chargers, and they went Patriots, Chargers because the Chargers had like the 7th biggest TV market. The Patriots had the 2nd biggest TV market, and so CBS wanted Bills, Jaguars. That was their number 1 game, and Amazon wanted Bears, Packers. So it's a rare instance where because Amazon, CBS, and NBC get the first pick of the wild card game. So this is a rare instance, Emmanuel, where each of the cable companies got their number 1 game. Fox got stuck with the leftovers. ESPN got stuck with the Texans Steelers game. But they were just happy. ESPN was just happy they didn't have to cover the NFC South game for a 3rd year in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'm happy you mentioned that because people have to understand the whole markets between all these networks, like bidding for, I'm saying, for some of these games, So I think that's very important in regards to this. So the obviously the second game for Saturday is the Bears and Packers.
Yep.
And look, a divisional game, another divisional game. This is the third time, so this is going to be tough. In regards with it, but Sauce, what are your keys to the game in regards with the Packers and Bears, and how do you see this game playing out?
Man, Bears by a mile, bro.
Woo!
Bears by a mile. Give me the Bears. The Bears are they're for real. And I just feel like, man, it's just I don't know, man. This is the thing. Do I trust that Bears defense or do I trust that Green Bay's offense? That's like the most I don't know. Like I don't know, but I just feel like Ben Johnson is gonna pull it out. And man, I don't know. Like Matt LaFleur, I don't know, man. Like after this one, if you can't get it done, man, somebody you gonna have to, take this walk with me, man. Like you feel me? Like what's going on? But nah, I like I said, man, I just think I like Ben Johnson in this situation. You talk about experience. He's had it with the Lions as a coordinator, so I don't think this is unfamiliar grounds for him. I just think that he has the weapons. Luther Burton. I don't know how he's looking now, but I know Roman Doomsday's there. I feel
Yeah.
like Manunga's gonna have a great game. Um, yeah, man, and those two we talk about tight ends, man, but they got two great tight ends over there. I feel like Giants. I mean, the Bears by 10, man. Give me the Bears by 10.
Ooh,
Mm.
oh, let's see. Now you got me looking at the spread now, Sauce.
Yeah.
They got Green Bay surprisingly favored by a point.
Well, boy,
Fa-
are they wrong.
Wow.
Interesting. And not and who's being assigned to this game, ref wise? Is it Adrian Hill?
Yep, Adrian Hill is being assigned to this game, but I've got some additional notes. There are going to be umpires and field judges from John Hussey's crew in this game. So and there's going to be a line judge from Bill Vinovich's crew. So that does mix things up a little bit.
Interesting. They at times they do have a tendency to mix like other people's crews. Correct,
Yep.
Chris?
Yep.
Is it usually like I know like in the Super Bowl they like to keep their own crew, correct? Like,
But in playoff games, they try to get a little bit from everyone else's crew.
Yeah.
so they could try to like mix it up. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting how Green Bay is favored by a point according to Vegas.
I
But
got Green Bay winning as well, but I want to hear everyone who's picking the Bears. I want to hear their thought process here before we get to I get to that game.
Hey, Sean, go ahead, man. What are your thoughts on this game?
I was actually going back and forth on this game. Like my man Saul says, who do you trust? The Bears defense or the Packers offense?
Mm,
I'm going to choose the Bears. I have more confidence in the Bears receivers. I have more confidence in the Bears quarterback, and I have more confidence in the Bears play caller.
hmm
You put all of that together, I think the Bears will come away with this. I think it'll be a 7-point game. If not, it'll probably be a walk-off field goal. I think the Bears will go away with this, and I think they move on to the divisional round. But I trust Caleb Williams has shown more to me than I can trust more than I can Jordan Love.
Yeah, agreed.
It looks better. It just looks more complete. It just feels different. Matt LaFleur with all them on that side with the receivers, they've never really had enough receivers been in and out due to injuries. So I believe the Bears will go away with this
Yeah.
one.
For me, the keys to the game for me is how well can Chicago able to run the football in this game, obviously. And then Caleb, He's been playing well all season. I like the receivers. I believe the rookie Luther Burden has stepped up. The wide
Yes.
receiver from Chicago, he played over in Missouri for college ball. But Luther Burden has stepped up. DJ Moore, obviously too, and I like in Coastal Leveland, the rookie from Michigan, the tight end, has been getting some targets lately the last couple of games. I've been watching him play. Uh, in regards to, I've been paying attention closely. So I do trust Chicago's offense more than I do Green Bay's defense due to the injuries that Green Bay has. And not only that, the Green Bay offensive line is not as efficient as it was last year in terms of them running the ball. And I think part of the result is where Jordan Love is struggling, but and they haven't really found an answer in my opinion, to improve with running the football. So with that being said, I got Chicago winning. I got Chicago 27 23.
Yeah, I've got Green Bay winning 27-24 at the moment. I think the Packers find a way to win this game at the end, but I expect there to be a lot of penalties in this game because both the Packers and the Bears rank at 1 and 2 in the NFL in roughing the passer penalties. Chicago's first, Green Bay's second. Another category Chicago leads the league in is intentional grounding penalties. And if the Packers are leading late and the Bears have to drive the ball to win the game and Caleb can't get the right throw on in time, I could see an intentional grounding penalty being the deciding factor in this game, and the fans end up booing Adrian Hill off the field. I could see it coming down to that. But I'm going to take the Packers by a field goal, 27-24. I think the pass rush, Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary, obviously it's not Micah Parsons, but I still think this pass rush can get the job done. Theo Benedict started the Week 18 game. If he's starting instead of Trapillo in the wild card, I think the Packers win, and they get a lot of pressure on Caleb, and they make it very difficult. Remember, the Packers are 6th fewest turnovers in the league, and they are a team that can get a lot of interceptions. And I think Diggs comes in, and he ends up being the X factor for Green Bay. And this is the first time Green Bay's receivers, all 6 of them, have been at full health since and the Bears did not face all 6 receivers at full health in either game. So give me the Packers to upset Chicago.
Interesting. Okay.
But
Now,
if the Bears win, I think they make it to the Super Bowl. I think these are the 2 best teams in the NFC, and I think whoever comes out of this game is more than likely going to be the NFC champion.
ooh, okay. You heard it. You heard it here. You heard it here. Now, let's go to the Sunday's game. We already talked about Bills and Jags. That's the morning game. Now, let's get into the 49ers and Eagles, which is the next game on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. What's good, G5?
Yes.
Thank you for joining. Thank you everybody for joining. Come to Truth. I see you, bro. I see the comments on YouTube. I appreciate it for y'all tuning in, by the way. On YouTube Live. Let's go to the 49ers and the Eagles, though. I think this is a really important matchup. I know, Shaun, I'm gonna let you have the floor. I'm gonna let you and Sauce go because I know these are your teams. So Shaun, well, what are your thoughts in regards to the 49ers and the Eagles? Okay.
Watching my Eagles this season has been like a roller coaster. There's been love, there's been hate, there's been confusion, distraught. But the last 3 games of the season, I saw some positivity. And that's what that man Saquon Barkley. We got him back revving up again. And with that run defense that the San Francisco 49ers had, I believe we could Swiss through them. And I think the Philadelphia Eagles will prevail. I think Saquon Barkley is the key for us in that game. Give him the ball. I don't put Emmanuel, you know this. I never had the complete full confidence in Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I just haven't.
Yeah.
For whatever, I just can't get my arm around him. He's a great leader, a leader of men, which is a great quality to have back. But as far as, being a game changer, as far as, changing the game and being a threat to defenses. He hasn't done that consistently enough for me. It may have to do with him having a different coordinator every year, and he hasn't been able to get rhythm. That's a big part of it. But at the end of the day, I think this would be a Saquon Barkley game. I think this would be a heavy tight end game. Look out for Goddard will have a big day. I think AJ Brown will have a big day as well. But I think this is Saquon Barkley game.
Yeah, yeah. Sauce, I'm gonna let you know your thoughts in regard to the game and your prediction as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Like this is an unsung rivalry
Yes,
that you know what I'm saying. That nobody's really paid attention to over the years. The
yes.
Eagles beat us in the NFC Championship at with Brock Purdy being a rookie. We got our get back, to their downfall the following season, and they won the ship last year. So this year this is a battle between two teams who have very much uncertainties on their team. Like one day they could play lights out defense, and
Hmm.
then other weeks they could be like, "What the hell's going on with that defense?" And but for the most part, the Eagles have a whole entire roster of defense that definitely is greater than the Niners. Anything the Niners that are doing right now, I just feel like the Niners have the worst luck with injuries. But hey, it's next man up, and we've proven that because we wouldn't be 12-5 and still be in the playoffs. But I just think that the only chance that the Niners have is a shootout. I feel like if this offense can get things going and Brock Purdy, you know, can put up a 40 burger. I mean, hey, look, I'm looking for any kind of way for the Niners to win. But if they really want to win, is to keep that that defense on the field. Like we gotta win that. We gotta win that. Like every we gotta score every possession, bro. And I feel like that the Eagles don't have it right now, even this far in the season. But yeah, I just hope the Niners win. Like my thing is just a hope, but in reality, this is a game that the Eagles should win.
Yeah.
Me being a Niner fan, this should definitely be a game that in the Lincoln the Eagles should win. But I'm not giving up on my Niners. I feel like we have yet to see um, the best out of them as far as the defense. I know we're depleted, but hey, they got one game at a time, man. Like I've seen some crazy things happen during these times, so I hope the Niners winning in the Lincoln in the Super Bowl. I mean, in the playoffs will be one of those craziest moments that I will forever remember. But like I said, man, I don't know the certainty of Lane Johnson coming back, but in reality, I think the either team, I feel like either team going by 7.
That's fair.
The crazy thing about this game is the Eagles playing so haphazard all season.
Hmm.
We can have the better defense, we can have the better skill players, and we can go in there and still lose.
Hey, y'all pulled it out against Buffalo,
Yep.
so you know what
Right.
I'm saying. Like
Oh,
that's
that's the same
all you
Buffalo that
need.
was looking, and that was the same Buffalo that was looking shaky against the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
But
Yep.
hey, you never know. It's
you never know.
you never know. It's all about who shows up and who has the better game plan or whatever.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
49ers
decide.
are 0-1 under Alanek this season. They lost to the Texans. The Eagles won with Alanek in week 4 against the Buccaneers. But I think the Eagles are legitimately the worst possible matchup the Niners could have drawn in this wild card round.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. Alan Leck is the head official for that game. That's interesting that you
So
point out with those statistics, Chris. Chris, what are your thoughts on this game?
I
By the
like
way,
the Eagles to win. I think the Eagles are going to move on, and I think they're going to live to play another round. Maybe the next round of games is kind of hard to pick between because I feel like the Rams are due for revenge against the Eagles if it turns out like I think it will, where Packers end up playing Seattle and the Rams end up playing the Eagles in round 2 again. I feel like the Rams are due for revenge, but I also feel like in that environment, if it's snowing like last year, I feel like the Eagles can win a couple more games. But I think the NFC Championship would be the ceiling for the Eagles if they got back to the second to last round of the playoffs.
yeah, I do agree. Yeah, I could see that. Now, of this game, the Eagles are favored by 4.5 points. In this game, now I like the Niners to cover, but the Eagles to win by 3. In this game, but I'm gonna break down the keys. Now, I think the key for Philly is I think this doesn't get talked about enough in regards. I know Saquon Barkley, you mentioned that point, which is a great point in terms of the running game. I think another key in this game is chunk plays for Philly. Can Philly able to make those 20+ yard plays, running or passing? You know what I'm saying? I think that's a key. Usually, when they get those type of plays, they're more than likely to win. If they don't, they have a tendency to lose. I've been seeing a pattern of this, Shaun, when I've seen them play. In these games, usually when they'll get those 20+ yard chuck plays, they win. Like for example, when they played in LA against the Chargers, they had no 20+ yard plays in that game. And that's a result of a loss. Now I understand AJ Brown did drop some good, some
Yes,
balls.
he did.
He had some key drops where it could change the game against the Chargers, especially the corner of the end zone. You probably know what I'm talking about, where Jalen laid it out
Yep.
on the money. It just
Yep.
went through his hands. I'm like, come on, AJ, like you're complaining about targets, but yet you're not capitalizing.
You got to catch that.
You're not capitalizing. So for me, I look at AJ kind of sideways from time to time. It's like, dude, Hurts is giving you some targets, and not only that, quality targets. That's the key.
On the money.
Yeah, on the money, quality targets, and you're not capitalizing. I have to look at you a certain way, AJ. You got to step up in the playoffs. Come on now. I got. I'm not even an Eagles fan, but I'm like, dude, you got to step up, bro. This is me outside looking in. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you got to step up in those moments, especially if Jalen's laying it out there like that, But to me, that's key. And then for Frisco, I believe McCaffrey. Sauce, you agree with me? McCaffrey in the receiving game is going to be very critical in terms of yards after the catch.
I agree.
Able to, I think that's going to be one of the biggest keys to the game in terms of how will Philly defend McCaffrey. You feel what I'm saying, Shaun? Because McCaffrey could affect the game in many ways.
Yes, he can.
In many ways that people are not talking about enough. So, to me, if McCaffrey's able to affect the game, this game could be closer than what people think. I'm telling you. And I do believe Philly wants to play the ugly style of ball, low scoring like they did against Buffalo, to Sauce's point earlier. I think it really benefits more Philly than it does Frisco. But if there's points being scored, then Frisco has a higher probability of chance to win. Now, the only way in my opinion, Philly can match up with it is if they get those 20+ yard chunk plays. To me, and that's the key. And because that's going to create great field position for Philly. So, with that being said, I got Philly winning by 3, but I got Frisco covering the 4.5. That's my prediction. Chris, you already gave your prediction, right? On the
I'm thinking 21-17 Eagles with the wait, if it's 21-17 Eagles, does that mean I'm picking the Niners to cover, or am I picking
by the hook? Yeah, because Eagles
that's
are
kind of what I'm thinking, 21-17.
So me and you agree the Niners will cover the hook.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay. No, yeah, I agree with that. Now the next game for that Sunday, you already did that. Nah, the Sunday game.
Sunday night is Chargers Patriots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now go ahead. It's your team, Chris.
Yes,
go
and
ahead.
the last time the Chargers played the Patriots in the playoffs, it was Rivers versus Brady in Gillette Stadium. It was Ron Torbert calling the game. It's Ron Torbert calling this game too, except it's going to be Justin Herbert and Drake May this time around.
Interesting.
And the
Bro,
Chargers' offensive line is banged up. New England's almost completely healthy. So they're
true.
getting everybody back at the right time. Yeah, because the Rams only have one player on IR. The Patriots are starting to get guys back. And I would say after the Rams, the Patriots are probably second in as far as healthiest team goes. And the Broncos, I'd say, are third. And then everyone else is a distant fourth. So everyone else is dealing with some sort of injuries. But it's next man up. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go with the Patriots to win. I just don't think the Chargers pass rush. Their Chargers secondary is great, but I don't think their pass rush can get enough pressure on Drake May to throw him off his game. And I think the Patriots, with Landry coming back, they're going to be able to get a lot more pressure on Herbert, and ultimately that's going to be the difference in a close game.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Sauce, what is your take in regards with this game and your prediction for the Patriots and Chargers and Patriots game?
I feel like this is gonna be one of those games, man, where I could see Justin Herbert, despite of the injuries on his offensive line. I think that we can finally put some respect on Justin Herbert as a quarterback, because I think that the downfall of personnel for him at quarterback with the offensive line, I think starting the season they had like the best overall like team that they man, the first 3 weeks they ran through their own division. Um,
Hmm.
but then they definitely don't look like anything of, by the end of the season they don't look like nothing like they did when they started. So, but man, but Drake May, man, man, Drake May and Vrabel, they got things going over there, man. Like I just feel like I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect, bro. But if I'm being realistic, and not being such of a fan of Justin Herbert, I think that the Patriots go beyond this this playoffs and they win the wild card. But do I trust them going forward? No, I don't. I think they're just gonna run into. Bro, well, this is what I'm saying. The Patriots are here again. Like this is their second. This is their. When once you thought like this isn't one of those teams where after Tom Brady, that's it. No, they have rebuilt and they are here to stay. They are a home name that everybody should know, and they found a quarterback in Drake May that is like this is not going to be. If he wins this MVP, this will not be his only MVP he's running for. I think he's to be a quarterback in the future that probably be
I
like
agree.
2 to 3 MVPs in the season, like a regular season, and I think he's a force to be reckoned with.
I think whenever the next Super Bowl goes to Nashville, because Nashville's building a new indoor stadium, whenever Nashville
Yeah,
gets awarded a Super Bowl, I think that's going to be Drake May's first Super Bowl win, whether that's 64 or 65. I think that's when they're going to get their first one,
right.
unless they get one this year, and it's just a prelude of everything that's to come. But I think there's three teams that can win the AFC: the Broncos, the Patriots, and the Bills.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I
I think
agree.
I think the Texans have enough talent to get to the AFC title, but by that point, they're going to be worn out if they have to play either the Patriots or the Bills. In the best case scenario for Houston is they knock out the Patriots and they get the Bills at home and they knock out the Broncos. But I think they end up having to play either the Patriots, probably if the Texans knock off Denver, they would probably play the No, because the Texans would play if the Bills beat the Jaguars. The Texans would play the Patriots, and the Bills would play the Broncos. So I think the best case scenario for Houston is they knock out New England and they get the Broncos in the AFC title. But I think the AFC title would be the ceiling for Houston, regardless of whether they drew New England or Denver.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, I'm gonna give you my keys to the game for this one. I think the biggest key in the game for the Chargers is going to be Amarion Hampton in terms of running the football. The reason why I'm saying that because the Patriots over the last 6 games plus they've been struggling a little bit in terms of stopping the run. So if the Chargers are able to run the ball with Amarion Hampton and control that clock and keep Drake May off the field, this could be more interesting than what people believe. So if Amarion Hampton is able to run that ball, this is going to be more close. But if they're not, Patriots should blow the Chargers out. That's my personal opinion. Now with the Patriots, if Drake May's on this game, that's all I can say. It's lights out. You know what I mean? If he's on this game, it's lights out. They got some good running backs with Stevenson and Travion Henderson. I like that. They got Hunter Henry at tight end. I like, and I know Diggs is going through some stuff off the field, but I know there's some receivers on there that's gonna be willing to step up. So, with that being said, I got New England winning. I believe New England is favored, but how many points? New England is favored by 3.5, and actually, I'm gonna take that spread. I got New
Yeah.
England winning 28-24. New England against the Chargers.
Mm.
Let's go to the next game, which is the Monday night game on January 12th at 5 p.m.
There's a Monday night game in the playoffs.
Yeah, on ABC.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
That's
Yep.
wild.
Texans.
Texans playing in Pittsburgh on Monday night at 5 p.m. on ABC. By the way, and
Wow.
Chris, I'm gonna let you have the honors because I know you're in Pittsburgh and you know the head official that's going to be at this game. In regards with it, go ahead and talk about this official.
I believe this official. It's Craig Rolstad. So Craig Rolstad's going to be officiating this game. I like the Texans. I know the Steelers have the officiating advantage, but because this is the thing, the Texans did not win a game that Craig Rolstad called earlier this year, and the Steelers have won games Rolstad have called. Why am I taking the Texans despite this? I just think the Texans are a better team, but here's the thing. Right now, 79% of the money for this game is on the Texans. So if the NFL wants to make sure there's a little backdoor cover, make things spicy for the divisional round, they could set up a rematch of Steelers-Patriots and have the Bills go to Denver. Rematch last year, and then a rematch of the regular season game where Pittsburgh beat New England. If the NFL wants to make things spicy, they can go that route. I don't think they are bold enough to go that route, and I just think the Texans are a better team. But again, you can't rule out that possibility. The fact that 79% of the money's already on the Texans,
Wow.
the money line,
Yeah.
point spread, everything.
Oh, God. That's crazy.
That's a red flag in terms
That's
of betting.
nasty.
That's
That's
a red
nasty
flag.
work.
That's a red flag, and you know how Vegas likes
And
to
the
do.
Steelers have the officiating advantage too on top of that. So
Right.
I am going to take the Texans to win, but the more I think about it, there are so many red flags for picking the Texans to cover. I think I have to pick the Steelers to cover as much as I hate to. I'm going to go 21-20 Texans, but I'm going to pick the Steelers to cover. I'm going to take the points. I'm legitimately nervous with the red flags and the betting vibes and everything.
Likewise, yeah, because usually if it's over 60%, you got the caution. Now it's over 70 or 75.
79%. Exactly.
I know that's
Almost
that's
80%.
crazy. That's crazy. And usually when that goes that way, you want to be on the side of Vegas where you're that 19, that 20-21%. So you can cash like Vegas does. You know what I mean? So and that's what people have to understand. Sometimes betting on heavy favorites doesn't always go your way. That Vegas gonna try and figure out a way to recoup that money back. They're gonna figure out a way, one game or the other. It's just you got to be smart enough to pick which game to take the dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to be smart enough. So
exactly.
So
one of these games is going to be the game where Vegas makes bank. It's either going to be the Green Bay Chicago game if the Packers win, like I'm projecting. It's going to be the Panthers Rams game, or it's going to be this game. One of those three games we're going to see. We're going to see either the Packers, Panthers, or Steelers pull the upset, because one of those games they're going to use to make bank for the week.
Yeah, and Chris, to your point, what's interesting is this, and you know how I'm into metrics and stuff like that. So I've noticed this on the NFC side, Sauce. it's more of like a clear picture, right, of the contenders,
Hmm.
right? Now, if you go on
Oh
to
yeah.
now if you go on to AFC
Right.
in terms of probabilities of a team advancing like each round,
Murky.
dude, the difference. I'm talking about percentage difference is less than 1%. I repeat,
Mm.
it's less than 1%. So that's telling you the metrics don't even know who's gonna win. Based on probability, who's gonna win the AFC.
Wide open.
Even the metrics are like, listen, like they're basically telling you if you read it, if you read between the lines, it's wide open. They telling you less than 1%. I was mind boggled because the NFC is it's clear. It's pretty much clear who's contending. You know what I mean? AFC is like wide open, Chris. I was like, whoa, it's night and day compared to both conferences. So I mean, again, we'll see. But no, Chris, I do agree with you. Something tells me Steelers are going to cover, but Houston wins close.
Yeah.
I I got I got seven. I got a low scoring game. I got 17-16.
I
Mm.
like that.
I got 17-16 Houston. I think Pittsburgh's going to be snowing. You know more than I do because I know you live in that area, Chris. Will it be snowing in that game?
It's. I'll look at the weather report for Monday really quickly.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be snowing. That's
Right,
Mm.
that's Pittsburgh weather. Like,
right,
In
right, right.
January.
Yep.
It interesting. It is projected to be partially sunny on
Mm.
Monday afternoon,
oh, that's a
but
Monday though. Yeah, I
but
forgot.
Right,
but
right,
by
right.
8 p.m. it is projected to drop to -1 degrees. So it's right now there's no
Ooh.
snow, but it is projected to be -1 degrees on Monday night.
And that's the time the game starts, correct?
Yes,
Because yep, there you go. There
Lord
you
have
go.
mercy.
There you go. Can Houston stand the cold playing in the
Mm.
dome at home? Can you
Mm.
can you
but
stand playing?
Houston played in some cold weather games with CJ Stroud. They played against the Chiefs and they played against the Ravens, but I don't think either of those games was -degree weather. I think with the Chiefs
That's my
Right.
point.
there was
That's my
30
point.
degrees last year with the Chiefs, and I think it was 40 degrees when they lost the Ravens in the divisional round. This is -1 degrees. That's a totally different animal compared
Yeah.
to
Right.
30 degrees against an Arrowhead.
Right, exactly. So that's my point. So we'll see how Houston does against in the cold, and obviously my Ravens, against the Bills, them cold hands affected Mark Andrews. He talked about it, before the
Man.
season started. That's all I could say. He said he couldn't feel his hands when the ball, in that.
Woo.
That's all I could say. The weather plays, the elements play a
It's
factor,
true.
bro.
It is cool. Like when I went to the gas station the other night to grab an energy drink, I could barely feel my hands when I was walking back to the apartment. I could barely feel my hands. My hands literally felt like an ice brick.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm already knowing, bro. But yeah, so I got Texas winning close, 17-16. I got Pittsburgh covering. And
Yeah.
you know what? Just for the heck of it, I might place that bet tonight. Just for the
Hey
win.
man, I got
Hey.
the I got the Steelers. I got the Steelers winning by 3, man.
Hey,
Wow.
hey, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Sauce. What is your keys to that game
I'm
regarding?
telling you, man. Hey, look, if anybody could do it against a great team, man, I
Aaron
think it's
Rodgers.
A Rod, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
A Rod has been known to do some crazy thing. I think he's just gonna add to his history. You feel me? Like I just think that he's just gonna throw one. He's just gonna. I don't know. Like I just love when it's like this when nobody can predict anything. This is what football is supposed to be, bro. There is
Yep.
no outlier team
Yep.
in either side besides who you got like on the other side. The Rams, Seattle. They look
Right,
like them two are the strongest. But then on this AFC side. You really don't have any dominant. I mean, who? Jacksonville, they look good on both sides of the ball. You got Josh Allen, and then whatever else after that. Like, I just don't know. I just feel like the Texans just don't. I mean, yeah, they have a great defense. That's cool, but how far is that going to take them?
yeah.
I don't
I'll
see
say
them.
this. Go ahead.
Go, no, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'll just say this, man. Um, the Texans do have a front four that's ferocious,
Facts.
but but Aaron Rodgers, if anybody understands timing, it's him.
That's
Mm-hmm.
as
right.
far as getting that ball out and
Quick.
getting it out and getting it
Yep.
out quick.
Yeah.
And I would say Metcalf not being there is kind of like was kind of a good thing because he found rapport with other receivers. Man, what's that running back number 14?
Kevin
Gainwell.
Um,
Gainwell.
Gainwell.
Gainwell, man,
Yeah.
they got something special going on between them
They
two, him
got
and Gainwell.
Gainwell. They got Jalen Warren. You
Man,
feel me?
yeah,
And
they got
Pat
that
And
1-2 punch,
Pat
and
and,
Gainwell
Firemouth.
could
and,
come and Gainwell could
Yeah,
catch
the
the
Steelers
ball.
are
He's
hanging
a
out at
Swiss
Aaron
Army knife.
Rodgers' house. Aaron Rodgers' own house, which is right by Acrisure Stadium, and every Tuesday night they hang out at that house.
Mm,
It,
yeah,
it-
man,
so Aaron Rodgers right
I
now
just
is
hope
kind of in
ain't
his
nobody
bag.
doing no. I just hope ain't nobody having no baby oil party over there.
Right.
I hope they doing the right thing when they over there.
They probably, you know what I'm saying, smoking on that ashwagandha or whatever
Yeah,
that is they own,
they better be
but
doing
yeah,
something with recovery.
right. I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers right now, he seems to be in his bag. He's going into the playoffs with a great rhythm. This is going to be an interesting game.
yeah,
If I had to pick, man, this is tough.
it is.
This is a tough one, but mm, gosh, my mind is saying I'm gonna have to go with my mental. My mental saying Steelers.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not.
I'm
It's,
going to
it's
say it's going to be a low scoring game too, as
yeah.
well.
I got 17-16 Houston by
Mm.
one, so I got low
Mm,
scoring too. So I mean, what's funny is all of us agreed on Pittsburgh +3, regardless of the outcome. You know,
right.
all of us agreed to it because it's
Yeah.
like
You
it's too
can't bet
much.
against the Wizard of Boz, Chris Boswell. You can't. You
Oh
can't.
yeah.
And you got Metcalf back, so that just
Yeah,
adds another dimension to the offense.
Yep.
And Watt is hungry for a playoff win. He's never won a playoff game in his career,
yeah,
so this is gonna be a game.
yeah,
Yeah.
Do it
absolutely.
against his brother's team. That would
Right,
be
will be
something.
symbolic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, for me, the keys to the game, and you touched on it, Sean. You read my mind. Is I think the key is Aaron Rodgers has to get rid of the ball quickly to neutralize that pass rush that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Houston has. If he's able to get that ball out quick, then it's going to neutralize that pass rush that Houston has,
Hmm.
and it's going to make them frustrated. Because
Yep.
you know what I'm saying. Hey, look at years past. Tom Brady did it in the Super Bowl. Kirk Warner with the greatest show on turf. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Patrick Mahomes did it, when teams was
Yep.
blitzing against him. So the list goes on and on in regards with quarterbacks. The way you beat it is you got to have a quarterback with a quick release to neutralize that pass
Yes.
rush. And Rodgers is more than capable of doing that. And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So if that has to be part of the game plan. And me personally, my X factor is going to be Pat Firemouth, the tight end.
Hey.
I wouldn't
Moo.
be I wouldn't be surprised if he has 2 touchdowns in this game. I wouldn't be surprised. I
Mm,
think DK is going to be more of a decoy, my personal
Decoy.
opinion,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to get other guys involved. I think Pat Firemouth will have a big game this game.
mm.
That's my prediction. Now, I think he's going to have a big game. I think he's going to get targeted more, especially with Leon. Was it Washington, the tight end, out for the year? The big tight end. He's like
Yeah. He broke his
very,
hand.
broke his hand. He had a very high wind block rate. Excuse me.
That's a big dude, man.
He is.
Jesus.
He is. He's a big dude, so he has a very high wind block rate. So him being out does affect him. But I do think Pittsburgh will be competitive. But I think got them losing by 1 point. But hey, it would have shocked me if Pittsburgh wins. But yeah, Chris, to your point, too much money is on Houston is a red flag, in my opinion. Because and Chris, to your credit, Chris predicted one of the 2 biggest upsets of the NFL season: Miami beating Buffalo in the beginning of the second half of the season, and Carolina beating the Rams. He predicted it. That's all I can
Mm.
say.
Well, only reason I considered Miami to beat Buffalo, I took the Dolphins with the point spread. The only reason I took the Dolphins with the point spread to cover against Buffalo is because Ron Torbert was officiating the Bills game, and I noticed that the Bills they don't have a lot of success against Ron Torbert. And Miami, on the other hand, had more success against the Bills. And then Ron Torbert called the Eagles-Bills game this past during the holiday
Right.
break.
And the Eagles
So,
won. And also, Ron Tolbert did officiate the Super Bowl with the Eagles
Mm.
and Chiefs. And who
yep.
won? The Eagles did because
Yeah.
he has a tendency to favor against NFC opponents.
Let's go, Ronnie T.
When it comes to cross section, conference games. So that's a nugget for you guys out there. So and everything. But okay, now it's time to get our Super Bowl prediction. See, now I gotta get the bracket out now. uh, Sauce, go ahead. What's your prediction, man? It could change, man, because we might do a recap next week.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could change. So I'm not gonna fault you for that.
no, you good. I can see a world where we had the Buffalo Bills and the Seattle Seahawks.
Hmm.
But I would say, and and if I was to make the prediction, I would say Buffalo Bills and the Rams.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just, you know, like those are my two. Those are my two favorites from either side.
Okay.
So Buffalo
Okay.
Rams.
Okay. I see you, Alfonso. You got Pat to the Seahawks. Hey, that's a good. That's a good probability too. I mean, I'm not knocking it. Sean, what's your
Mm.
Super Bowl prediction
Mm.
as of now? It could change.
Man, you know what that as a Philly fan, I've been saying all season there's been one team I fear. And that's that damn Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. And Chris, to your point, if we were to meet them again in the snow, I'm still scared. Did you see how Matthew Stafford was slinging that ball in the snow last year? How
Yep.
Puka Nakua was catching them balls?
Yeah.
How the running back was running that football in the snow? Like they've been there before. I don't have any confidence against the Rams in the snow, but in my perfect world, I could see Philly versus the Bills. I could say we go for the repeat.
Mm, okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, what about you, Draft Utopia, Chris?
I'm this is hard. NFC is I've got the Packers over the Eagles in the NFC title
Blasphemy.
game. Now Jordan Love's going to win the NFC this year. The AFC, on the other hand, is trickier because I think it's going to be the Broncos and the Patriots. But it's trickier to pick this game because I think the weather favors Denver, but I also think from a storyline standpoint, Packers Patriots is way more compelling because you'd have Mike Vrabel versus Matt LaFleur. LaFleur was Vrabel's offensive coordinator his first year in Tennessee. You'd have the two running backs. You'd have Josh Jacobs, a running back McDaniel's coach, going up against Trevian Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson in New England. You'd have Harold Landry going up against the Packers pass rush. I just think that's a more compelling storyline. So I'm leaning Packers. I'm leaning Packers Patriots, but I could see Packers Broncos as well. But you know, I think the Packers end up winning this whole thing as a 7 seed, and they end up screwing a lot of people out of
Mm,
money. The sports books are able to get rich off the Packers.
Oh
mhm.
wow.
I'll say you need a big. I think the NFL will make sure a big time quarterback gets to the Super Bowl. I think you need Josh Allen in the Super Bowl to get the ratings.
Yeah. And not only that,
I think next year's Allen's year, but go
no,
on.
no, and to your point, Super Bowl is in Santa Clara, and Josh Allen is from close to the Bay Area, if I'm not mistaken, Sauce, right?
Yeah,
But
he out here. He from out here, man.
yeah.
Mm.
Uh, I just think I don't know. Next year, I think Josh gonna have a run for his money because he gonna run into that red and gold in L.A.
Mm, okay. Yeah, honestly, I know. I guess I'm going with. I originally, before the season started, and you remember, Sean, I had the Allbird Super Bowl. I had Ravens and Eagles.
Ravens, Eagles, yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So I have to make adjustments based on that. So I guess according to Alfonso's comment, I'm going with the trendy pick. I'm going Bills Rams, and here's why: based on an interesting storyline. Obviously, Josh Allen playing close to home, right? Not only that, also the Super Bowl is on Matthew Stafford's birthday.
Mm.
Uh, so that's going to be two. That's going to be some storyline elements to that game. I do believe that's going to be the Super Bowl. My personal opinion, but I got Bills and Rams Super Bowl, and I have Matthew Stafford winning his second Super Bowl and being Super Bowl MVP. And I personally, this is my theory, that he will retire on top, and the Rams will probably use that pick to possibly get a quarterback for the future.
First ballot Hall of Fame.
Facts. Especially if he
Yep.
gets the regular season MVP, right?
I
Super
think
Bowl
he is.
MVP and a Super Bowl a champion. If he gets those three this year, he's certified first ballot Hall of
Yep.
Fame. All of us will agree to that.
Is he a top 10 quarterback in the history of the league?
Oh,
Once if he achieves that,
that's a very good question.
I say yes.
Nah, I
The
think
way
he's
he throws the
outside.
football,
I think he's
two,
outside.
two Super Bowls.
Even with 2 Super Bowls, I don't think Super Bowl for me is something that I would put another quarterback over. I think just
Like
the like
every elite receiver he's had, the two elite receivers he had has won the triple crown with him.
no, it's only been one, and
Calvin
that was
Johnson didn't win it with him.
No, he didn't.
no.
Okay, never mind.
No, he led the league in like I think it was a touchdowns. I
It was
believe
Yeah,
receiving. He
receiving
had
yard.
the reception record. He had the yards. Um,
Yeah, over
but he
was
didn't
it
have a
100 yards.
3
touchdown.
Yeah,
or something like that? He had something.
yeah. I mean, I remember because it was a Jerry Rice record, right? They had for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. And then
he broke the reception
I
record.
do have some portal. I do have some big portal news. Former Michigan State quarterback Aiden Childs has just committed to
interesting.
Northwestern.
Chip Kelly gets his quarterback.
Hmm.
Oh wow!
Well, what's going to happen with Caleb Tiernan, the Northwestern junior left tackle? I've got a first round grade on him. So most have him in the second or third. If he declares this year, I think he's a high pick. But if he goes back, he could boost his stock even more with Aiden Childs and Chip Kelly next year.
Hey,
We'll
you know,
see.
Aiden Childs, he's from Downey. He's an LA guy.
Mm.
I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
He played ball at Downey. I
Mm.
don't know if you guys know that, but he
I did not know
yeah,
that.
he's from
That's
LA
cool.
because I remember I know one of the people who knows his family. He knows his family. And he was telling me, yeah, he's a quarterback at Michigan State. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay. I said, I'm gonna check him out. Then I watched him play against SC, but it wasn't his fault, but because they had no O line. Michigan State was just terrible in terms of protecting. I'm just gonna keep it a buck, but he has some talent though. If he has the right pieces. And then
Hey
speaking,
man, a team that y'all should be looking out for in college next year is Cal Berkeley.
okay,
They on the rise.
okay. No,
That quarterback from Hawaii, bro. That quarterback is crazy.
okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah, he's a true freshman,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, because 2028 is starting to look like it could be a decent QB class. Mestamaker, you got Cal's QB, you got Pitt's QB, you got Bear Bachmeyer, MVP of the Pop Tarts Bowl. Bryce Underwood looks like the biggest project of that group, but he was a 5-star recruit, so maybe he'll get it together for Michigan next year. We'll see.
yeah.
But I'm really starting to like this 28 group.
Yeah,
But 26 is a hard pass for me. 20 outside of Mendoza, 26 is a hard pass for me, and 27 and 28 both look strong. Like they could be decent.
yeah.
groups.
And not only that, though, Chris, I think nobody's really talking about this. There's been rumors about Dante Moore, and a lot of people have Dante Moore as a top quarterback, depending on certain scouts. They have Dante Moore as a top quarterback in this 2026 draft class. But there's been rumors about him staying in Oregon for another year.
Yeah.
He does not want to go to the Jets. That's
Yeah,
why.
That's why. And then supposedly there's a rumor saying that he wants to play for the Raiders because he likes, I guess he's a fan of Tom Brady, obviously, because he's from Michigan. So originally. So, I mean,
Unless he beats Mendoza, who's right now Brady's guy, he's not even going to get looked at.
You-
And even if he beats him, he's got to beat him in this game. He's got to beat him out in the interview
True.
process. There will be a second round of just to qualify. He's got to win this game in the playoff this week just to qualify for the interview process. Otherwise, the Raiders are going to lock in on Mendoza.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I agree with you. The quarterback class this year is going to be pretty weak. And speaking of college football, I made a post about it. I got Indiana Miami national championship. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm thinking it might be Indiana Ole Miss, but I'm thinking because the national championship's at the Orange Bowl this year. I think
Miami will get a home game basically if they make it to the championship game.
Yeah, and Trinidad Chambliss looked great for Ole Miss against Georgia. If he can do that again against the U, against a real legit pass rush, it'll be this playoff will be interesting.
Right.
Though.
Jeremiah Smith to Miami next year. What's up?
Jeremiah Smith, he's not eligible until 2027, correct? Chris?
Not eligible for the draft. I think your friend was it Shaun or was it Sauce? I think Sauce mentioned portal. Jeremiah Smith portal.
Yes.
I don't think Smith's entering the transfer portal.
I think he goes to Miami for his last year, man.
What does Miami have at QB next year?
Well, speaking of that, Miami, the boosters, there's rumors out there saying they're willing to drop a big bag for a quarterback.
Mm.
There's already rumors. Remember, they did it with Carson Beck. They did it with Cam. They did it with Cam Ward. I'm just saying, it's been back-to-back years. The boosters have put money up for a big-time quarterback. That's all I'm saying. And trust me, Miami will do it again, especially if they win a national championship. All of us will agree to that.
Yeah.
They will do it again. Trust me. And I'm going to say I think it's Dylan Raiola, the guy that Mahomes look alike. I think they might try get him with more money because they're going to say.
Yeah, because Brendan McSorley, the Cincinnati quarterback, is going to commit to Texas Tech. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
so I don't know where Raiola's going to end up.
There's a rumor is that he's waiting for Miami. There's a rumor. Raiola's waiting on Miami to say something. That's what I'm hearing. That's why there's been no noise on Raiola yet. He already hit the portal like 2-3 weeks ago. He did it early, so that tells you something. So I'm just saying, I think Raiola is going to be in play for Miami. I'm not saying he's going to go there, but he's definitely in play. He's.
Did you see the T-shirts they had? Confederates versus convicts. Remember when they had Catholics versus convicts in the 80s? There's people selling Confederates versus convicts T-shirts on X and Ole Miss Confederates.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Crazy.
That's
diabolical.
Right. That's crazy. Well, the truth, because Ole Miss does have a Confederate like mascot, so that's why they put it. You know. Man. Somebody's Draftutopia. Alfonso on the chat said, "Do y'all think Pavia goes in the first round? The quarterback from Vanderbilt."
In the mock I did, I put him on the Jets at 17 because I've heard a rumor that he's the Jets QB2, and Dante Moore ended up dropping to Pittsburgh at 18. But I had Mendoza at 1 to the Raiders. But Pittsburgh's not going to be picking at 18 now that they won the division. They're probably going to be picking at like 19 or 20.
Right, especially they made it to the wild card, so their pick's going to go back, and in regards with them. So, hey, who do you have the Ravens going at 14 now, since it's set?
I honestly, I think it's going to be. I honestly think if Peter Woods is gone, I'm not sure what position you target at 14 because I'm looking at I think it just comes down to what position you want to address because I think there's 14 blue chip players, but in fact, you're gonna get either leftovers or you can get a position of need. Maybe you get a corner, maybe you get Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee. I don't know. It just depends.
Who's the best guard in the class?
I think the Ravens are going to trade Marlon Humphrey, though. I think Humphrey's going to end up getting traded to the team that hires Harbaugh. Because I think the Ravens are done with him. I don't know what else is going to happen, though. in the draft. They should draft a pass
That's
rusher.
what
The
I'm
Ravens
saying.
shouldn't overcome.
Yeah, and you know what? That's been the common theme on a lot of mock drafts. Is the Ravens have like a edge rusher coming out of A&M? I forgot his name. You probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Cassius
they
Howell.
got him a lot of mocks to have him going to Baltimore.
Man, I need him to fall
Yeah.
to the Niners, man. I like his play.
Relax. This is a great draft. Okay, this is a great
hey,
edge rusher
hey,
draft. We had 10 defensive ends in the
Nah,
hey,
but you
first
gotta
hey,
round.
remember
10.
ours is in the 20s.
right, yeah,
So I
hey,
need him to
Sauce.
fall in like the
Hey,
20s.
hey, Sauce, listen. I got complaints last year as a Raven fan from Eagle fans because they took
Yeah,
Mike Green in the third round. Remember, Mike Green was a first round talent. He had off the
yeah,
field issues. Ravens did extensive research
right.
on his situation that the Eagles didn't do. So they took a risk in him in the third round, and Eagles fans were pissed. They're like, the Ravens would do some stuff like that because they always
I agree with Alfonso. Peter Woods would be perfect for the Ravens. There's just one problem. I have the Chiefs taking Peter Woods at number
exactly.
9. I
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could definitely.
because they need to get younger on defense, and they don't. If Derek Nottie leaves, they're probably going to get another defensive lineman, and Peter Woods, best defensive tackle in the draft. I could see the Chiefs picking him and pairing him with Chris
Yeah.
Jones.
Yeah, definitely. Because they do need to bolster their defense, especially with Mahomes going to be out.
Unless the Chiefs want to get younger on offense, if they get a playmaker like Kenyon Sadiq or Carnell Tate and Peter Woods drops, then Woods the Ravens becomes a possibility. But I agree, Woods would be an excellent pick if he was available at 14.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, hey, you guys go ahead if you guys have questions about the draft. Hit up my Draft Utopia, man, because he's like an expert in terms of mock drafts. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, for real.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Trust me, I learned off of him in terms of I don't know if I told you, Sauce. Like every year, Draft Utopia has this draft community on our page, and each team.
Hey, Chris, teach me your ways, brother.
Man.
Teach me your ways.
All right.
That's the guru right here, man.
No, but every year we do
Every year
mock
we do a
draft.
group mock on Facebook, and I'm going to try to build up. As soon as I get I've got 12 recaps done. As soon as I knock out the last 4 game recaps, it's simulator time because I figured out how to create a draft simulator. So I really do want to get started on that. But I also got to set up the wild card games too. It stinks because I really want to get started on the simulator and start adding players by position for the NFL draft this year.
Are you talking about like a simulator like Perry Pick'em?
Well, no, like
Almost.
like Pro Football Talk, NFL Draft Buzz, Pro Football Focus, NFL draft
So
simulators. I
okay.
know how to build one now, so I want to build one. It's just this like I got these other things I got to prioritize before I build one.
Yeah.
It's all about time for you, Chris.
Yeah,
Because you do a lot of work. You do a lot of work, and I commend you for that, bro. Like,
we got our MLS simulator to up to 150 players, so anything less than 350 players is going to be a letdown from my audience, even if we don't get the exact top 250 correct, because it just feels like, okay, there's only 90 draft eligible players. You added 60 more. All right, now you got to add 350 for the NFL. And
Right.
I've got the first 4 for the WNBA up, but I don't have any more than that. But we'll save that discussion for March Madness. I don't want to dive into that too deeply right now.
hey, I love March Madness, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I've been watching some talent, baby, on college basketball.
Yeah.
And Sean, you probably seen Caleb Wilson. He reminds me of KG, Chris. The way his mid range, he shoots like KG. His explosiveness reminds me of KG in high school. He plays so much like Kevin Garnett. You probably know what I'm talking about. Like I was just like, man, like me as a North Carolina Tar Heels basketball fan, I'm happy. Dang.
Didn't he have like a really? Yeah, he had a. Is he a sophomore? No, he's a freshman. Caleb.
He's
Williams,
a freshman.
Yeah,
no, he was a 5-star. He was one of like the top 3-4 players in the country in high school.
Yeah.
He played.
He's now the de facto number 4 pick in this draft behind Peterson, Boozer, and Dybansa.
Me personally, I like Boozer, but if you, I've watched him closely. When he plays against physical competition like Michigan State, he folded. I'm telling you, like
So he
he
acting
fold.
light skin in the paint.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I'm saying, bro. I look. I like Boozer, but I prefer Caleb Wilson. I'm not saying because I'm a Tar Heel fan, but Caleb Wilson will engage in the contact. He's not afraid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And he's athletic. Now Boozer is nice. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely a top 4 pick. But I would rather take Caleb Wilson. Now AJ, he's number 1. He's like an alien. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying?
who's the
old boy from BYU,
Yeah,
AJ. Did
yeah.
what's the
The
last name?
Banter. I think it's the Banter or
Yeah,
something like
are you
that.
talking about
yeah,
the Boozer?
man.
Are you talking about the Boozer twins?
The
Yeah,
Booger
yeah,
twins, yeah, on Duke,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
no, he's nice, but when Michigan State was going at him, he kind of folded, man, in the post. I saw
Mm.
it. I'm
As a
like,
big man, that's unacceptable.
yeah, it's unacceptable. And we all know when you play against physical teams in the NBA like that, and they're gonna look at the scouting report. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying? And they're gonna be like, oh, okay, I got you
barbecue
now,
chicken,
right?
barbecue chicken.
You're like, yeah, I got you now. But Caleb Wilson, I'm
But
like,
that's kind of hard to believe from his like, bro, having like a father named Boozer, like,
yeah.
bro, Boozer did not play no games.
No, Boozer was no. Carlos Boozer was nice. I agree with you on that. But I'm talking about his one of the sons of the talented twin. I'm just saying when he put Michigan State, they kind of neutralized him. They
Mm.
they neutralized him. I'm paying attention, Sean. I'm paying
Hmm.
attention.
yeah. I mean, right now, Caleb Wilson is jumped on Nate Ament, who was the preseason #4 player, and Kingston Flemings has also jumped Ament, and Mikel Brown Jr., who was in that conversation, has dropped all the way down to #7 for
And,
Louisville.
and, and what I
So
like about Caleb Wilson, if you watch his interviews, Sauce and Sean, he got a mama mentality.
Mm.
He do. No, watch his interviews when he talks about certain players got more playing time in the McDonald's All America. He said, "Yeah, I kept note of that." He said, "When I see him,
Mm.
he said when I see him, I'm gonna go at him." I said, "I like that
Mm.
energy."
Mm.
That's the first thing I said. I said, "I like this." I said, "I like this freshman.
Mm.
He got that energy. He got that dog in him, and you see it the way he plays. And look,
Yeah.
to me, look, Peterson is good. He over here talking about, oh, I'm more comparable to Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. I'm like, nigga, you nowhere near the game. I'm like,
Ha ha
bro,
ha.
I'm like, bro, you're a better version of Andrew Wiggins.
Lord,
Like,
Lord.
based on his comp. Like he's a better version of Andrew Wiggins, in my opinion. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I know we're talking basketball, so I might as well just wrap this
It's
podcast up.
almost here. It
Yeah,
was.
yeah, and we'll definitely we talk about basketball. We'll have like the All-Star recap pretty
I got.
soon. And
I
I'm
got a thing or
definitely
two to say about my Lakers.
yeah, hey, that and also I'm turning up All-Star weekend because it starts a day after my birthday. So I'm just letting
Let's
y'all
get
know.
it.
Yeah,
I live up the street. I'm with you.
hey, I'm letting you know, man. I'm gonna let you know, but with the plans and everything. So, but yeah, hey, Sauce, thank you for joining for the first time here on the football panel on Sports Head Radio, man,
For sure, bro.
for the playoff preview. I'm gonna try to get this together for the wild card recap. It'll be a quick one. You know what I'm saying? It won't
Yeah.
be this long, but we're gonna do a recap and we'll know our thoughts and everything and go forward with it. And thank you, Chris, for everything and the hard work and obviously put this on YouTube live. I appreciate it. And Sean, thank you for joining,
I
man. I know it's been
appreciate you, Chris.
Yeah,
Nice
man.
meeting you, Chris, Sean.
Yes,
yeah,
sir. Thanks a
Hopefully
lot,
we do
Sauce.
work together, man, in the
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
future.
most definitely.
yeah, I'd love to collaborate on some projects in the future. Maybe we'll do something next week if you guys want to. Just hit me up and let me know what you'd like to
Okay,
do.
sounds
And
good.
go
Hey,
from there.
Sauce, hey, go ahead and let people know so they can plug into your socials, man, where they can reach you out.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I'm Sauce King 23 on TikTok. That's mainly where I'm from. So yeah, I mean, we run our own panels there. I mean, I just gotta remind y'all, man, that's all for entertainment. So it's nothing to harp on in real life. I really got an actual real life outside of that, but mainly TikTok is for entertainment. But yeah, you'll find me on there. Sauce King 23 is the handle.
Yep,
But yeah.
absolutely, man. And Sean, go ahead and let them plug your socials and stuff on there, man.
All right, man. Well, as you can see me, you can find me on Twitter at Mighty Moolah. We also have my sports page, Dry Cornbread. Already, you know what I'm saying? We getting that cracking. So Please be on the lookout for
Oh,
that.
Shaun, I gotta show you the thing. I gotta show you the thing. I'm not sure if you saw it, Shaun. I did set a graphics background here.
Okay.
Here we go. Don't drop the dry cornbread.
Oh.
That's the name of the game show I pitched. You got Steve Harvey, you got the dry cornbread in front.
Hey, I like that.
Hey man, we're going to make that a segment
We're
on
gonna
Sports
make that. We're gonna
Radio.
make that. We're gonna
A
make that a
seg-
segment. It's gonna be
we,
3 teams, and
right,
we're gonna let them know don't drop the cornbread. These are gonna
cornbread.
be based on
Yeah, I
teams who
like
have
that.
the most pressure going into whatever game or situation it is. So we're gonna. I like that one, man.
I like that one. That's gonna be a segment. That's gonna be a segment right there. I love that one. I love that one. I love it. But yeah, all right, Draft Utopia, go ahead and plug them with your website and your socials, bro.
Draft Utopia. You can follow on social media, our Facebook page, our Twitter page. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. I will be interviewing the guy who beat Emmanuel in our Dynasty League tomorrow. William Yanish took the liberty of getting him on the show. So I will be interviewing him tomorrow. And yeah, that'll be I was supposed to be last Wednesday, but he couldn't show up. And yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, it sounds good. So you got plans?
Theo Von Ratking, the winner of the Under the Bleachers Fantasy League. Me and William Yanish are going to interview him tomorrow. So yeah.
Okay.
And don't worry, Emmanuel. You got a strong team. You swept me in the regular season. I'm sure you'll figure out what adjustments.
I'm frustrated because it's like I had the right two quarterbacks in Stafford and Prescott, because Prescott was getting the yards and Stafford was too, but Stafford was giving me touchdowns too, and I had Devontae Adams and Puka on the same team, and I had Trey McBride. I couldn't believe I lost, bro. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, bro. Hey, my team was pretty nice, man. For
yeah, I got lucky enough to hand Theo his first loss of the season. He only lost like twice in the regular season. His team was stacked.
Yeah, Theo had a nice team and everything, but I was number one for a minute, and then obviously I had some injuries, so it kind of like messed my team up down the line. But yeah, man, it sucked. But let me plug my socials real quick. So Instagram, TikTok, on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Sports Hit Radio, also on SoundCloud, where I post my podcast on Sports Hit Radio. And people keep asking me, will you put it on Spotify? No, because of the new AI arbitration rules. So look that up. Look it up before you create a creator's account. That's all I can say. And post your content, because they will take your content if AI likes it without your consent. That's all I can say. And you don't want AI benefiting off your image and your likeness. And take it without your consent. That's all I can say, and that's the reason why I don't have a Spotify account. Now I will plan on putting it on YouTube for YouTube audio clips, and also on Restream as well. And I know Draft Utopia will probably help me out down the line in regards with that to kind of get.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna. I found another streaming service that monetizes unlike Restream, and I'm not sure if we're gonna stick with Restream down the road, because you have to pay like 198 hundreds. We found a service that's only half that, and they monetize the content creators. So as much as I enjoy Restream, we are looking at other options.
Yeah,
I'm not saying we're leaving yet, but we are looking at other options after this draft cycle ends. Like in the summer, we're going to look at other options.
Hey, Chris, you like TikTok or not?
No, I do not like TikTok. Well, I know it's very popular. I did create.
Hey, Chris, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I think you will benefit from it, from what you do with the drafts.
Yes,
because they don't have too much of what you're doing.
That's
so
not going
just
on.
a little heads up. If you start the trend about creating a mock draft that's accurate and all of that, bro, you're gonna succeed.
Bro, Chris, you got to put your I'm just saying, if you go on TikTok, I'm telling you, with your knowledge on the draft and stuff, I'm telling you,
they are gonna love you.
Yeah,
They're gonna
exactly.
love you.
They're gonna love you, bro. I'm telling you.
Get all type of endorsements.
And people love bouncing ideas. Like,
yep.
I created a TikTok account once. I don't know if I posted any content there. I'm not even sure what the login information was, but I did create a TikTok account, but I never took it viral.
Yeah. Listen, if you're active on it, add me on Sports Head Radio. I'll follow you back and
All right.
repost your
All
stuff,
right,
bro.
cool.
Oh yeah,
Trust me.
bro. I got a community, man. We'll follow you.
Yeah, and then, bro,
Sounds
if I'm
good.
on live and you got the time, hop on my panels on live, bro. I'm telling you, because I'll help you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of get your name
All
out
right.
and everything. And so,
Man,
hey,
I got homies that's always looking to bet and looking for probabilities and looking for advices on spreads and stuff like that. So
But
that could
one thing I
definitely.
do want to tell you though, talking about the refs is probably not the thing to do on TikTok.
Woo!
he said,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
yeah.
going to talk about the
hey,
refs on TikTok. I might talk about mock
Yeah.
drafts. I might do like shorts, but I'm not going to talk about the refs on TikTok.
Nah,
Sauce.
yeah, nah.
Hey, Sauce, I was a witness of that about late last week, right? So
Yeah.
I was talking about the refs and stuff, dude. I felt my live was going in and out, and then people on the panel were like, "Hey, we can't hear you. You're like your sound is
All right,
going
all
in
right,
and
all
out."
right.
And
Woo!
I'm over here like, man, I'm about to get banned. And then all of a sudden they were like, you know, I'm like, dang, like what's going on? Like, and then people were like, dude, my live was glitching. So I felt like I was kind of getting tapped in. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
bro.
And then when I stopped talking about it, then it went back to normal.
Yeah.
It was weird. It
It
was
might
weird.
be a crazy coincidence, but I definitely think that that there's some do's and some don'ts, man, and that's
Right,
definitely a don't.
right. So yeah, we'll keep the ref content on podcast only.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the right
Right.
call.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
but anyways, man, thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna end this podcast real quick, and we'll definitely see you next week for the recap of the wild card and heading into the divisional games.
And maybe the first edition of Don't
The
Drop
quote,
the Dry
Drop the
Bread. Good
long
night,
bread.
everybody.
Yeah. All right,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
All right, you guys have a blessed one, y'all. Please,
Peace and
Thank
Yes,
love.
you.
Happy New
sir.
Year.
all right, likewise.